Welcome to Kranky Live, the show where bold minds meet real talk. This isn't your average sports or news show. It's where we break down sports, culture, and controversy with facts, fire, and fearless honesty. Here, truth cuts through the noise and hype gets exposed. From football to track and field, from world issues to local debates, we ask the tough questions, speak without fear, and go deeper than the headlines. We don't follow the crowd, we set the trend. While others recycle the same tired takes, we bring fresh insight, unfiltered analysis, and bold perspectives. No echo chambers, no puppet talk, just real conversations for people who think for themselves. Listen with your brain, not just your ears. Think critically, question boldly, and speak freely. This is Kranky Live, where reason rules the mic and truth always win. Come on, let's get into it. Good night, good night, good night, good night. Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Drew Ross, One Love, come early as usual. One Love, how you doing? So at least me have two people to talk to tonight. At least me have two.
Data everywhere.
Data everywhere. How you guys doing? Good night, good night, good night. Hope you had a good weekend. Yeah, Drew Ross, we have to mix it up sometime. I'm also going to make an outer song. So I may do the, bless up Princess Jillian. I may do the outer song by the end of the week, actually. New outer song. Maybe some of the same old pictures, but you have to freshen up. You can't keep doing the same thing over and over again. You get boring and stale. But it's been a good weekend. I took the weekend off. And Maria Blair said, so what's new? Enough new in the world of news, I have a lot to talk about tonight. I will not go very in depth on most of the topic because I plan to do blown out show for some of these topics. So for example, I plan to do a 2 or 3 part series on the Epstein situation. It's a fascinating story. Bless up Ted Dexter, Maria, Brownman Security. It's a fascinating story, people. And it just show you actually how money and power can influence decision makers. It's amazing. No matter how heinous, mix up words, the crimes may be. Princess Jillian, sure love herself some Kranky. I thought everybody in the chat loved Kranky. We talk about you, Ross. At least all the females. Jamaica man them stay. So they don't love man. So don't think they go. Bro, my script said good week. Yeah, Chelsea did a phenomenal job. I'll touch upon a little bit of that actually. Phenomenal job. They weren't given any chance to win. But I'm not gonna do sports first. I'm gonna do the news of the day first. The phone line is open. You can call in. So you can call in anytime. We're not doing no specific. We'll talk about stuff, but if you want to call in, because it's a call-in show tonight. Any topic, no topic is offline. We're gonna talk some current news. We're gonna talk some Ghana. We're gonna talk some Ukraine. Gaza, I should say, not Ghana. We're gonna talk some Ukraine. I may even talk some Jamaica. Politics, because election season brew up. Those things go. Bless up, Ricardo. Thanks for being here. But the first topic is on Gaza. And I do find it interesting. Well, I have Gaza, I have Epstein, I have war, I have sports. I'm going to talk about Jamaica coaching situation. But I do find it interesting that in 2025, we still are uncivilized as we were 200 years ago. And you may say, Kranky, why we say that? Because we keep emphasizing the civilized thing and who's civilized from not civilized. But if you're uncivilized, then you're going to have wars, you're going to kill each other, you're going to have inhumane treatment of others, you're going to have suffering which you don't care about, you're going to have resources where you have too much of it, but you don't really care about anybody else. You're going to do things which is not humane in nature. It's all about you and people who may look like you. And all those things are happening. So if you look back, if you go back to this entire 20th century, the 21st century, almost every decade we have a war, right? You think about the 20s, World War I, the teens, 20th World War I, World War II, 30s and 40s, Korean War 50, Vietnam War 60 and 70. We had the Iraq War. Well, Iraq War was afterwards. We have the Iraq-Iran War. We have Afghanistan in the 80s. We have in the 90s. We have the fake Iraq War, where they say they have weapons of mass destruction, and then turn of the century. We have Afghanistan again, given what happened in 2001. And we have always had the Middle East situation with Palestine or Palestinians and Israelis. And now we have Ukraine war, and we still have the since the beginning of time, as these men know themselves and writing Bible, still have the Palestine Israeli or Palestinian Israeli situation. A continuum, people, doesn't change. Just go from decade to decade trying to kill each other for some reason, even though the life thing is short, which doesn't make any sense to me. But that's human being. And if we just tie into what's happening in Gaza, it's amazing that a people who went through what the Jews went through in Germany, 6 million killed, concentration camp, has somehow managed to flip the switch and create their own apartheid system and create their own two-tier system in terms of citizenship. And we have people who have that persuasion, others who are looking for money from AIPAC, which is an organization which fund a lot of trying to control the narrative in the US as it relates to Israel, anything that surrounds Israel, and have enough money to buy elections. It's amazing how that worked. Was it really 6 million? Well, they say 6 million. I don't know what the number is. We've been told it's 6 million Jews. We're gonna get to Epstein Juras. We're gonna get to Epstein Juras. So now what we're hearing. So we had this guy named I remember his name now, African American guy who went to Israel and that region. Coates is his name. He's an author, taught at Georgetown University, and he came back and said it's an apartheid system, and people lost their mind. He was on one of the major network, and they tried to put him under the fire and only put themselves on the fire as far as I'm concerned. But the fact of the matter is that in that region, Israel is now thinking about or talking about building a camp where they're going to house 600,000 Palestinians. And you have to live in this camp unless you leave and go to another country. So what the chance you're getting to do is you can live in a concentration camp or you leave the country so we can take over your country. It's amazing how that works. And America provides Israel with $3 billion every single year since God knows when, and give them tons of weapons and facilitate what they're doing. I don't understand it. I don't understand how people, and what they do actually is they have so much money and influence, they cancel people. You can't even say, you know what, in New York City, Jews hold on a building because they say you're anti-Semitic and they try to cancel you. And we have individuals who are being bought, frankly, politicians, by AIPAC's money to say what they say and do what they do. It's amazing how that works. And anybody who come in any public forum say anything, they get annihilated, they get canceled, and their life gets ruined. And I don't understand how human beings can lack morality, lack sensitivity, lack empathy, just lack humanity. I don't understand. And I can't imagine the suffering that people go through. Now people are going to say, well, 2,000 people were killed on October 7th, what, a year or 2 ago, 2 years ago? And I always say this to people, and people are going to like this. What create the situation where somebody would go to that extreme to do what they do? Because everything in life has a cause and effect. And people say the same thing when ANC was fighting for their survival in South Africa and for their freedom, when they would do things that people could think it was atrocious and terrible, and their atrocities, they called them, and they were called terrorists, because the West wasn't helping them, because the people who run South Africa at the time was like the West. It's amazing how that worked. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this. I'm just give you some headline component of it, and then we get into, I will do longer shows on these individual topics. No, you can't speak freely. You get canceled, more than canceled. So that whole situation, and then people in the Middle East who are these Arab nations, they're not doing anything. Saudi Arabia, United Emirates, none of them. They just there, right? They control oil, they control a lot of influence, they're just there. Take the oil money, buy football players, and take MI money, spend on golf and all sort of stuff to get influence. when people around him are dying, like, you know what? It's crazy. Mind them cancel me, then cancel me now. So you go. If they cancel me. They have the power to do so. Cancel me. But I'm not gonna sit down and be quiet when those things are happening. Sorry. Ain't in my nature to be quiet. Lee Young, I don't disagree with that one. And a lot are dying now too, given the war in Ukraine. So that's the Gaza thing, and I'll probably do a show on that. Maybe I'll get canceled after that show. People, as you come in, please hit the like button. Second point is the war in Ukraine. Now, it's kind of funny that we are where we are. First of all, we have a president of the United States. I call him the ghetto president. He's a joke. Seriously, he's a joke. He's a joke. He's such. I actually, it's sort of funny. I find it really strange that the supposed number one country on earth, the best country on earth, supposedly, the country with the most influence, the most resources, the most power, the most collection of intellect, could have somebody who lack a lot of the attributes to make somebody great running the country. It's amazing. And then you reflect and say, you know what? Nah, it's not that strange. Nah. Race, hatred supersede everything. When it comes to race, nothing else matters. Your ability to think logically, deductively, do the right thing goes out the door when it comes to race. Out the door. You just do what the basic human primitive instinct tells you to do, and that's what you follow more than anything else. You don't do what conscious, normal people would do. You would expect civilized people would do. So we elect someone who is he's just a joke. I'm serious. He's a joke. So let's talk about the Ukraine war and Putin. Now, Trump is saying Putin was playing him. I'm going to my own words, paraphrase, because he doesn't want peace. He started the war. He's been playing you forever. You're the same one who says you believe him versus you believe the intelligence chief in your first term. You're the one who went bankrupt tons of time. You're the one who was the best friends of Epstein. You're the one who's done so many things, egregious things, and gotten away with it. He has had the most privileged life in the history of man, done some of the most egregious things, and he gets away with it. Because he has money, he has influence, and he's at the right persuasion. So Trump said before he came to office, Putin would have made peace if he was president. It shows you how naive he is. Right? It shows you how naive, he's just beyond naive. Putin just uses him and laughs at him like a joke, and he believes he has influence with Putin. Yeah, he's getting played. Bless up jargons. He's getting played, and he doesn't know he's getting played, which is really interesting. And he surrounds himself with people who are like him. Unqualified people. The whole DEI he talks about in its form, where it's about nepotism or it's about preferential treatment, it's about discrimination. He surrounds himself with those kind of people because that's who he is. That's who he's always been. But Putin is playing him and it's showing up. Now he's gonna hit Putin with sanctions. He's gonna hit him with tariffs. What is he talking about? Those things don't work. Putin and Russia have been accepted by other parts of the world. Africa accept him, China accept him, Iran accept him. There's a bunch of countries where it's in his corner, right? Regardless of how evil he has been, and he's been evil over time. True evil. The other day you heard that one of his ministers lost his post and they found him dead and they're saying it's suicide and he just laughed. You know, people in Russia who are in senior positions have dropped off buildings, they all seem to jump off balcony. Very strange how that works. Or like the guy in England when I was in the UK, living in the UK, who they put a nuclear thing, radioactive thing for him to swallow in his drink so they could destroy his inside and send a message to anyone who may want to oppose Putin. These people are not to play with. They're evil. And for Trump to believe that he has control over Putin and he can tell Putin what to do and he can do X, Y, Z, it's a joke. And he's played himself. And he's getting played. So he called out Zelensky, he and Vance, J.D. Vance, embarrassed him in the White House. And now they're the ones with their gun in their face because they've been played. And I'll do some shows on that also. Now, my favorite topic today, and I won't spend a lot of time on it because I have a couple of shows I'm lining up, is about the Epstein Files and the MAGA meltdown. I have never seen a better situation. Now, a lot before Trump took office this time around, there were so many, I'm not going to call them conspiracy theories, so many Republicans, MAGA personnel, who were dying to get their hands on what they believe were the Epstein Files. Because they believe there was on the Epstein Files a list which captures a lot of individuals with a lot of resources, a lot of power, and mainly Democratic, who they believe were involved in the Epstein case. Now, if you don't know about the Epstein case, I'm not going to tell you a lot tonight because I'm doing a show on it, a 2-part series or a 3-part series. But let's just say Epstein, if you think P. Diddy's situation was bad, Epstein was 100 times worse. And Epstein only went to jail for, he got 18 months and only spent 12, and he could go and come when he pleased. It's an amazing story of how money works, people. And that's why people have lost any respect for the system, quote unquote system. And you see Trump abusing the system. He let go the January 6 rioters. He let go Mayor Adams, who was being charged with all sort of bribery and everything that's go with it. But the Epstein situation was between 30 and 50 kids, I'm going to call them, juniors, teenagers, babies, basically, fall under the abuse umbrella. And yet the man got to stop on the wrist. The crimes he committed, he should have been put away for life, like a Harvey Weinstein. In fact, Weinstein wasn't as bad as Epstein. Diddy was nowhere close to Epstein because they were grown-ups. Weinstein didn't have any kids who were grown-ups. Diddy was no kids who were grown-ups. These were kids. And we'll talk about it. And I did a show on this when I talk about Leon Black, who paid Epstein $150 million, Prince Andrew, who his family sort of ostracized, but who didn't go to jail, who didn't go into any trial. And now the MAGA person have meltdown because Pam Bondi, who is the Attorney General, promised to release a list, and the list can't come. The list lost. The list disappeared. And the theory is that the President of the United States, Donald Trump, is on that list. That's why the list disappeared. And in fact, he had a lot, people. First of all, he was friends with Epstein. They were friends, good friends. The friendship fallout came when they saw it on some kind of real estate deal. But they were friends. There's no doubt about that. And as he said, Epstein liked them young. And he was in that circle. Along with people like Bill Clinton was in that circle. Bill Gates was in that circle. In fact, they did an interview with Bill Gates' wife, and she was saying one of the reasons why I think she divorced him was his affiliation with Epstein. Right? So a lot of powerful, and what's his name? Dershowitz, the lawyer who, the Jewish person who's a big lawyer, Harvard lecturer, alumni, he's one of the people also involved with that. So a lot of individuals with a lot of influence, but they have the right persuasion. And it's unconscionable that they'll get away with these people. It'd be a lot of people going to jail, a lot of people. And a lot of people with means will go to jail. So don't understand the rationale as to, and a lot of people believe that Epstein did not commit suicide. They show you some tape where a minute of the tape is missing, where they believe something happened in that period, and Pam Bondi was able to try to explain it away and couldn't. And a lot of individuals in the cabinet of Trump, whether it's Bondi, Patel, all those individuals they got their position because their views on the whole Epstein situation and the conspiracies, or the information they disseminated to the general audience about Epstein and what transpired and who may be involved. And they thought it was all going to be mainly Democratic persons or very wealthy individuals, and not realizing there's more than meet the eye. And all of a sudden, Pam Bondi, who said she had the list on her desk, she didn't say files on the desk, is now saying she meant the files and not the list. All right? And I'll have, when I do the video on this, when she said it, there is no ambiguity in terms of what she said. So really interesting. But the Epstein thing is gonna roll on. I plan to drop a video or 2 videos in the next 2 days that give much more detail about a chronological sequence of the events for Epstein and the case and the Miami Herald investigation on the case, and the Attorney General, who was in Miami at the time, who became part of the Trump administration. They all seem to link people in some way, shape, or form, and who had to resign his post at a point in time. When people look back and see the sweet ordeal that he gave Epstein, which is unconscionable. And many people in law enforcement have a difficult time understanding how Epstein wasn't in jail for life the first time around. So he got to continue his behavior, his heinous behavior, from the time he was locked up in early 2000 till when he got locked up again and supposedly committed suicide. Really interesting. And now we transition to Trump and tariffs, which are, so we got the tariffs thing again, people. And those of you who live overseas like myself and live in the US, you're going to end up paying for Trump's tariffs, right? Tariffs is basically a tax. And it's a tax on goods which one import or export. And in a lot of instances now, the whole genesis of the tariffs, at least from where Trump sits, is that he wants to bring back manufacturing jobs to the US. Now, that's all good and well, but I think that's a pie in the sky perspective that he's putting out there, because think about it. Americans, and we'll call it Americans across the board, unless you're like not Caucasian or you're very destitute, they're not doing certain jobs. It's funny, and this is gonna sound bad, but I was in a market, a fish market, over the weekend, and I was just observing my surroundings and looking behind the counter as the people doing, the fish and cleaning the fish and working that environment. I didn't see any blacks. I didn't see any Indians. I didn't see any Caucasians. I'm just saying, none. They ain't doing that job. Some blacks may, but the rest of the population, they ain't doing those jobs. Yes, DC. Well, no, his deal wasn't with Bondi initially. His deal was with Acosta, not Bondi, initially in Florida. And Acosta become part of the Trump administration. Then Bondi came a little bit later. Bondi been there for 20 years. So she's part of the whole equation. But Acosta is the one who sort of owns the whole relationship versus just Bondi. But Bondi been there for 20 years in Florida. So she was on board when all this transpires. But I think she probably came at the beginning or the end of the whole saga, actually. Because it's 2025 now? She may have been there, actually. She may have been there. But not maybe a major player, as Acosta was, who was the Florida Attorney General at that time. Or was the Fed person. He had Attorney General for Florida. But as we go back to the tariff situation, you and I are going to pay for those tariffs. The manufacturing jobs are not coming back. They're saying they want to cut Medicaid, and those individuals on Medicaid will go do the work, the farm work, the hospitality work. Good luck with that. Good luck. People may be coming back to Jamaica to get some food. We may have to start, have our relatives bring food up for us or send food up for us, because we're going to have problems, major problems in the food industry, because it's mainly contracted workers who they don't want to bring here, or illegal immigrants who are working in those industries. I will touch on West Indies cricket. I will touch on West Indies cricket at some point. But for tariffs, I'll also do another show on that. I did a show previously on tariffs, and I'll probably do another one because it's an interesting topic, an interesting subject. He wants to have no more 30% tariffs on Canada, 50% on Brazil. The man is out of control. He's trying to do something which is not going to happen. The manufacturing job, we'll have manufacturing jobs here, but who, as was it Dave Chappelle who says, who wants to pay $1,000 for an iPhone? Who wants to pay $5,000 for an iPhone? American wage labor is high, and we don't work as hard. It's a fact. Now, that means everybody, but in general, right? In China, they pay you less. They have the infrastructure. It's well set up. You got to go invest a lot of money to do this. You have to move factories here. You have to employ individuals who want to get paid a certain amount. The cost is only going to ratchet up. And then here's what's going to happen also. People across the globe who you have denigrated, belittled, don't want anything to do with, they won't buy your products. So the BRIC, which is expanding every day, which is a bunch of countries, mainly led by China, Russia, South Africa, India, and Brazil, and has a lot more members joining, they will form their own economic center, and they will want to buy their own products. And China makes everything that we make. That's why you see Apple and those companies are in China. So why should they buy American product? And those products are becoming just as good or better than the American products. Yeah, remittances will be affected. I think they're going to take, what, 1% off remittances. If you send $100 to Jamaica, they're going to take $1. It won't be the worst. It won't be 10%. That would be terrible. First of all, companies like Western Union make a ton of remittances. And frankly, if we were really thinking really well in the Caribbean, we would form some given company, have them registered, and have them be the one that move money versus giving our money to Western Union. That's where we don't think outside the box. Western Union should be making all that money off the Caribbean and Latin America. If all those countries say, you know what, we ain't doing that, we're gonna find a different means. We ain't making a Western Union milk us and generate income off us. We're gonna create our own ecosystem to do so. Be a different story. That's unknown, Juras. People can predict, but I don't know what the long-term effect would be. America's mainly a service economy, right? So I think it may have less effect on the U.S. GDP per se. I think what it will have more is it'll probably more inflation. People have less money to spend, frankly. It's going to be interesting how that works. It'll be interesting. But yeah, remittances are going to be taxed actually. All of this is about how do I negatively affect countries that are already disadvantaged. It's amazing how that works in people. I take their best people, they migrate to my country, I have them as part of my environment, they're trying to help those behind who you don't want to come to your country, and yet you're trying to find ways to penalize them. It just doesn't make any sense to me. No sense. And it's very disappointing to see now in today's environment. It's not disappointing, actually. This is good. A number of people who voted MAGA and who are now saying this is not what they voted for. They're sorry they voted for Trump. Like, what the hell are you talking about? We all know who Trump was from his first term or before he even got into office. We all know how he operates. We all know he doesn't give a damn about people who don't look like him or people who are poor. That's not rocket science. So I have no empathy or sympathy for those I see crying in different environments about, I didn't know this is how Trump was, and my husband got deported and my wife got deported. You should get deported yourself, even though you're a citizen, because you're a moron. Sorry, I have no empathy or sympathy. Tycho said, Kranky, Trump supporters are uneducated about real situations like his image. They don't understand the reality of governance. Yes and no, Tycoon. A lot of them know. A lot don't know. A lot of focus on what they think their interests are, right? So their interests don't want too much immigrants in my country. Inflation is too high. I can't pay my rent. I can't buy my food. And I understand the economic component of it. But Trump has never been able to fix that ever. He can't fix anything. Trump is not smart enough to fix anything. Now, the ones who know are the ones who wrote Project 2025, right? Right? Project 2025 is sort of clear about some of these things. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night.
Yeah, bless up, Kranky.
Bless up. How you doing?
No much. See, you're getting a striker, you know? Well, almost.
Oh, you're talking football. Okay.
No, let me come to talk politics.
Hey, come, all right. Yeah. Don't talk football because your team not doing nothing. So I was,
you know,
yeah. Talk politics. Talk politics. Talk politics.
You know what I don't like about the American politics? It's almost like the Democrats. If it's not their way, it's no other way, you know? And
what do you mean? I don't understand that.
No, listen, man. For the Democrats, if it's not their way, it's no other way. For the Republicans, it's also the same, right? But today I saw a video where Mark Cuban, former owner of the Mavericks, he was talking about the fact that, you know, the Democrats are just Trump this, Trump that, you know. There's never like a solution to a problem in any sense, right? And I've always said, I think Americans have to learn from both sides to come to a round table talk in order to facilitate conversations so that everybody can get something that benefits them in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Because in any country, especially with the size and population of America, you will always have different ideologies in a sense, right? People want different outcomes, but oftentimes you cannot let one outcome that some people want outweigh every other outcome that others want as well, right? So when you say things like, Trump isn't smart enough to fix the economy and this type of stuff, I mean, was Biden smart enough? Was Kamala Harris, was she the one to be smart enough, or whatever the case is? Not saying that they're not smart people, but every day we blame one side and whatever the case is, but is the other side the solution? And again, people
No. So let me stop you there. There's a difference. He said he would fix it when he come into office, and he act like he could fix it in a day. And what he's going to do when they ask him is he's going to drill, which anybody who have any sense know that's nonsense.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is, right, him say him done surgery, right? And, whether that fixed or not, that's a different conversation. But I'm saying, right, would the other side have fixed things in a sense?
No, but the other side didn't tell you it was that easy to fix. That's the difference. The other side didn't sit around and say we can fix it in a day. They're the ones in power. They realize the economy, most times, is not fixed by the government. It's fixed by supply and demand, frankly. It's fixed by productivity. It's fixed by population growth. It's fixed by a lot of different factors that you can't control everything as a government. You can use money supply to help you. You can use interest rate to try to hike rates if you want to take up money out of the economy, or lower rates, you want to put money in. But you can't fix everything. You don't control everything, right? He acts like he controls everything and he could fix it in a day. That's the difference. Now, I'm not taking up for the Democrats, but it's a fact that he comes in and says, I can fix it in no time. I can fix the Ukraine war in no time. If I was there, Putin wouldn't go to war. He said that. And if I'm right now I'm there, I can fix it in a day. He can't fix a damn thing. He can talk a lot.
I don't think he can control the outcomes of what other countries do, and when other countries decide to make a decision, it's not like for like countries like Russia, for example, you can just go and bomb them or whatever the case is, right? You're looking for trouble in terms of like a war in a sense, right? So I know that he's a good talker in a sense, in terms of, at least for his people, like in talk the talk, some people might question as to whether or not he's walking the walk, right? Or walking the talk in a sense. But for me, I think the two sides, I don't see any good in the two sides, whether it's Trump or somebody else from the Republican Party, or if it's somebody from the Democratic Party, because, a lot of these problems, Kranky, in terms of war and, the society of America in the last 20 years plus, this has been a constant problem under different leadership. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but America doesn't control wars, right?
Unless I'm not saying they control wars, but they've started wars themselves.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't started one since Afghanistan, right? Which was triggered by what transpired.
In general, like there's so many problems that persist in the world even to date. And
well, I mean, they may support wars, or they may initiate wars in covert ways, but they have been one where they're putting their people at risk. They distribute people across the globe to involve in different situations. They have people in Syria, in Africa.
Even immigration. I was talking to somebody recently and I was saying, when I used to talk about immigration in America, I used to talk about Mexicans, to be honest, right? We even make like whoever is illegal. It used to be predominantly Mexicans in a sense. In recent years, we've seen like Venezuelans, El Salvador, Hondurans, and these type of people, right?
Well, the Venezuelan situation is caused by America.
Yeah,
America caused the problem in Venezuela.
That's what I was going to say. It's like, when you look at Europe and you look at America, for example, in covert ways, they go into different Central American countries over the last couple of years, right? Over 10, 15 years. They destabilize these countries in ways that they want to. And then these people have to end up leave their countries due to the fact that financially, for them, it's just not sustainable to like make a life in a sense. And what happens is that while you have good people coming over who want a better life, you also have bad people who's also in the mix of the good people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So a lot of these problems, it is designed by America, and it is affecting them to the point that, okay, they're doing deportations and whatever the case is, which obviously is not unique to Trump or any other president. But one thing I will say about Trump that I dislike, right, is I believe that as a leader, you have to have a certain decorum about you in terms of how you speak and how you conduct yourself. And listen, you look at Andrew Willis, for example, right? I'm not in favor of everything that Andrew says or does for Jamaica, right? But at least I can respect the decorum of the leader in a sense, in terms of I think he leads in a way that is respectable, and I think he wants to hear both sides in a sense. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's like, oh.
What do you mean? What do you mean you want to hear both sides? No politicians want to hear both sides. They only want to hear their own side.
Yeah, but I'm saying there's a certain decorum about Andrew Holness in a sense, right? That I can respect him as a leader. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So even if he wants to hear only one side, he might not put that out in the public as brash as how Trump would do it, where it's like, oh, I don't really care about Democrats. You get me? I say?
No. Trump
Like,
is the Trump. No, Trump is so even though Trump is just a one big fault as a person, the one thing you can appreciate about him is he's not faking. He's real. What you see is what you get. He's a horrible person, but he makes you know he's a horrible person. He's not camouflaging like some people do, like a J.D. Vance would do, for example, who may be a horrible person, but they're not portraying that in the public domain. They're trying to manage it. Now, those people are been doing it now because Trump is in power and they have to satisfy Trump's desires to be awful or be terrible, right? But Trump is clear about who he is. He ain't camouflaging it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of Americans like that, and that's why they went to the polls in a sense, right? So, as I say, he says it as it is, and you get what you get, you know? He doesn't fake it in a sense. But I just feel like, you know, the two sides have to end up come to a round table discussion to talk about things that they want that can benefit the country. I think America is too much of, if I don't get this, then nobody else can have anything else. You know what I'm saying?
So here's what I find strange, 433. Here's what I find strange. We have Mandani in New York, who just won the Democratic primary, and he's being opposed by his own party, but he's by both parties actually, because he's supposed to be a Democratic socialist, right? Whatever you want to define that. And the Republicans oppose him because he's a Democrat, or he's a communist as they call him. The Democrats oppose him because they have their structure about how they operate. It's all a pat the back construct, which is we have a hierarchy of people who have paid their dues, so we're gonna put them in power when we're gonna have some people who are behind the scenes who decide whose turn it is to be in power. And kids nowadays are saying, hell with that nonsense. Because a lot of people who voted for him in New York are across the board. Jewish people, even though he's a Muslim, young individuals, Caucasian voted for him, young Asians, not a ton of blacks, by the way, because we are suckers to the construct that we operate in, which is we just vote Democrat most of the time, and now we're voting Republican. Neither side give a damn about us, but we vote them. And somebody come along who we don't know and providing a message which should resonate with us, which is, I want to give you free education, you know, I want to give prenatal care free, I want to give free buses, I want to reduce rent or freeze rent. I want to do all these things for people who are not of means, and it's the same people who need it who are voting for somebody like Cuomo and Adams who have done a damn thing about it. It's amazing to me how that works. So people are voting against their own self. They vote against their own self-interest.
To be fair to those people, right? Wouldn't you say that over the years they've heard promises from even different respective individuals?
But this person is different. No, this person is different.
No, but I mean, anybody can say anything. That's the thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but the person's history tells you a story, right? Ugandan Indian who was given his life to public service, basically, and whose dad was part of, not sure if he's exaggerating or not, but part of the movement, late 60s, early 70s, with Dr. Martin Luther King, of always being socially conscious, right? Now, very young, obviously, and not experienced. But I keep telling people this. When you're the leader of any organization, you don't have to know everything about everything. What you have to do is surround yourself with good people. And people like Hakeem Jeffries, who are part of the establishments and getting their butts kicked and useless, frankly, are now feeling the heat. And he will be elected because people like me are voting for him because we're tired of the same nonsense. Whether or not he succeeds or fails, you have to make a change and hope the change works. And frankly, what he's espousing and what he's doing is no different from what done in Western Europe. So you call somebody communist, I have to laugh. There's no communist country nowadays in its purest form. None. There's some dictatorship
someone recently, a friend of mine who she's in Latvia right now, and you know, she was talking about just the social construct of the country and, you know, how simple the life is. And I think it's a socialist country in a sense. I think some of those small European countries are a bit socialist, where, you know, take care of the people first before anything, in a sense. And I think they've decided,
which is almost all of Western Europe, frankly.
Yeah, and I think they've designed a lot of laws to harbor that in a sense to put the people first in some sense. And I mean everything has its pros and cons in terms of socialism and capitalism, right?
Yeah.
But in terms of America, I think a lot of the situations are fixable in a sense. But it's just whether or not the both sides want to have a sit down talk and solve some of these issues and give some people what they want and the others what they want in a sense. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
yeah, I don't think it should just be one way where like, oh, if I don't get what I want, then it can be nobody else can have anything, but that's just my couple points too.
All right, so I appreciate it. Appreciate the call.
Yeah.
So now I'll transition to sports, people. Because I know some of you come here and say, what Kranky I do? Why isn't Kranky on Balanced Views with all these socially conscious topic? And why ain't he doing sports? Didn't he tell us that he's going to do sports on Kranky Live and he will do social commentary, politics and news on Balanced View? Because now support Balanced View. I mean, I do no free show. I'm telling you the truth. Now I get no views from Balanced View. Make up my Balanced View at 2 people me I get. We not do that. We not go subscribe to the channel. We drop the channel and subscribe to it. If I get the number I'm looking for on Balanced View, I will do Balanced View subjects. And I'll bifurcate the 2 channels between sports and Kranky Live only, and then do everything on Balanced View. And when I drop my website, frankly, I'll probably do more Balanced View shows, even though I'm not doing them now because I will probably have a lot of topics to talk about. So when we come up with my website, I'm going to write article every day, every other day. Then I'll probably do a show on each of those articles. And most of them going to be more newsworthy and not sportsworthy. So I will do Balanced View, but right now he's not getting the support I want. So I got to figure out a way to increase the viewership. Then I will do more shows. I'm probably do more shows than I do on Kranky Live. Because I'm going to be honest, people. I can't come here every day and talk about Mason Greenwood and Damari Gray every day. Even I get bored. I can't do that. I can't try to figure out every nuance. You know what? Let me cut it this way and cut it that way. I can't come here and talk about speed and Ricketts every single day. I get bored. I can't do that. So I got to figure it out because there's only so much you can milk the national team. Most people don't talk about national teams every day. No, they talk about club team because club is in the news. Clubs are in the news, right? We take the JFF, we take the national team, reggae boys and reggae girls, and we splice them like 100 ways and talk about, I can't do that. I'm not going to do this. I just can't. You're right, Drew Ross. I'm going to do more. When I used to do Trump, I used to get 1,400, 1,500 views and I have 2 subscribers. So I'm going to do more. It's just that what I realized, if I'm going to do videos, and I'm preparing for the Epstein video on Balanced View, it takes a lot of time to get the right pictures. And then you get videos you want to use. And then you realize, if I do the videos, will I be sanctioned by YouTube? So I have to figure it out. I'm trying to call up news program to get how much their programs cost, and the costs are prohibitive, to be frank. People are crazy. They're out of their minds. Elections in Jamaica. I'm not going to touch that except to say I have to do more due diligence to talk about this. I know that the view is that the JLP and PNP are neck and neck. So I'm asking people, is there any difference between JLP and PNP in Jamaica? Seriously. Is there any difference between the 2 parties? I know they're supposed to be neck and neck. Neck and neck meaning they're almost a dead even. And to me, dead even doesn't really matter in terms of polling. I think it's a misnomer when it comes to that. Because just like the US, where you use the Electoral College, in Jamaica, the numbers only matter for the prime minister's role, It doesn't matter for the rest of it. People get elected based on where they're located, right? You have people in each parishes. It depends on who gets elected in there. So you could have the population split right down the middle, and yet you lose because of who gets elected. JLP, the lesser of both evils. I find in Jamaica, the parties have this history where if you're born into a JLP-supported family, you're a JLP, and vice versa. And it doesn't change, no matter how good they are or how bad they are. The JLP has been in power for 12 years, Are people happy with the progress in Jamaica after 12 years? That's the question, right? They've been in power for a long period. Isn't it the longest period that anyone has been in running the country that I can recall, right? Brogat has been, and he's still young. Man, he's not even 60 yet, so he's still young. And JLP been in power for what? Because Brogat took after what? After, what's his name? America told him to leave. After the Doodle situation, he's got to go. So he resigned. I am going to talk EPL, Omar. I'm gonna do cricket first, then do EPL, then do some track, and then do some Jamaica. So why don't we do cricket first? So you know what, people? I used to be a huge cricket fan, and over the years, I said I moved away because either you just lose interest or the West Indies just be poor. So I'm watching some of the games, because Sabina Park pitch is a harbor pitch, right? It's a bowler's paradise. And we bowl Australia for over 200, and we make 100 and something, 140 something. And yesterday, I'm watching the game, and we're crucifying them, bowl them out for 100 and something. I feel good. I say, look, we're not going to win because anything over 150 is too much for us. We made 27. People, wait, back up. I think extras may have been the high scorer. The West Indies have 11 players, okay? That means they average less than 3 runs a player in a whole test game, in a match. I mean, it's an inning, not match. Okay, they made 140 something the first inning. They made 27 people. I said I'm going to watch the game in the afternoon because I was doing something, I was busy. Let me see if the West Indies can put up a fight in the morning when they come up. 27. I've played cricket. I played a lot of cricket when I was younger. It's hard for 11 men to make 27. It's hard to do. You have to try really hard to do so. 27. Man, I take hat trick. You wouldn't even fake it. You wouldn't put your bat in front of the 2 pad them and block the stump for saying, nah, bowl me. 27. 27 hard to make. That is unbelievable. Well, because the US probably see IPL money, DC. IPL money, them see. Cricket is dead in the Caribbean. It's not dead in the Caribbean. It's dead for the West Indies. It's not dead for Caribbean players. Because a lot of players, the Poran, the Bravos of the world, they go IPL and make the games and make tons of money, right? Got millionaires out of IPL cricket, which is short form of the game, but Test cricket is dead in the Caribbean. Dead like a dog, as I'm saying. Jargon says, like religion, politics in Jamaica is hard to argue. People can't be objective. No, they can't be. I have good friends, people who are very objective in life in general. And if you say something to them talk about me a JLP. And you're just like, wait, back up. You live in America for about 40 years. You mean you're JLP? You left Jamaica so long ago. What you mean you're JLP? Me not understand you. What you talk about? PNP no good. But I'm saying, how do you even know? You don't even follow Jamaica politics anymore. How do you even know they're no good? As you're saying, we're very parochial in what party we support. And you're not getting nobody to change their mind. If you're PNP, you're PNP. If you're certain neighborhood, if you're Tivoli, well, now it's Tivoli example. Tivoli historically is who they are with the whole Siaga thing and what happened, we do this and the whole thing. So Siaga, Tivoli not change. But if you're Abbeville, for example, if you're a certain neighborhood, you're not supposed to have no affiliation with no party. Reggae Boy, so West Indies cricket is a waste of time. We could see the players gave away their wickets and want to leave early for some extra days. No, I don't think so. Here's what I think, actually. People criticize West Indies cricket, but there's a clear comparative and a clear situation you see where the cricket and the football align really well. So what do I mean? So in the olden days of cricket, when it wasn't as technical as it is now, and where athleticism was the chief factor to differentiate you, West Indies dominated. Big, strong, fast bowlers, batsmen with some technique, but raw ability. But then also the cricket was the main sport. It wasn't football way back when. Cricket was where individuals didn't have the big contracts they do today, but they didn't have to work. They worked for companies, careerists, cigarette company, for example, Lawrence Rowe worked. They worked for companies, so they're taken care of. So they could spend time honing their craft, right? And doing really well. Over time, people have more things to do. Your time is distributed. You ain't got time to go hone your craft. And if you realize in cricket, and then what happens is certain countries with resources. India realized that it has 1.5 billion people, and each of them give $1, $1.5 billion. They played cricket those days, but with the resources, they could invest in their infrastructure and invest in their people. And the industrialized countries like England did the same, along with, say, Australia, who's always done it and always were dominant. Right? So I don't know if there's any, I don't think there's any Jamaican in, is there any Jamaican in the 11? I think there was one. Who am I missing? Not to mention, none of the fast bowlers are Jamaican. The Josephs are not Jamaican. Steele is not Jamaican. I think there's one, if I'm not mistaken. Isn't Powell Jamaican? I may be mistaken. But it's really interesting to see that batting is about technique. If you ever play cricket, it's about technique, right? Somebody pitch the ball up. Do you move your feet to go to the where the to line up the ball really well? Go to the pitch of the ball to play the ball versus throwing your bat out there away from your body and leaving yourself vulnerable, right? Cricket has technique to it, and you have to have the right coaching. Let me say this again, people. You have to have the right coaching in cricket. And what we talk about in football, lack of coaching, lack of technique, can produce one CDM or one midfielder of any worth. Money, infrastructure, quality coaching produce quality players, right? And that's what we see in cricket, and we see the same thing in football in the Caribbean. And the Caribbean is getting worse. So at the end of the day, West Indies are lost. 27 people. Then can't bat. So the bowlers are, West Indies have never a very good set of fast bowlers, right? Never have too many good spinners. People like Ross and Chase are sort of bowl some off spin, but there's in the whole days you call them just, part-time spinners, you used to call them. Fast bowlers are good. The two Josephs are good. Seal is good. They have good fast bowlers, but the batting is atrocious. And it shows up accordingly. Now, in 5 years, USA will be better than Jamaica. Jamaica, the West Indies. In the next 5 to 10 years, because here's what's going to happen. The US will import West Indies cricketers, like Joshua Archer went to England, and they'll come. The good ones will come play here. Don't be surprised if some of those young fast bowlers migrate to the US and go play for the US. Depends on what the cricketing body does in terms of you playing for a country. But some of the younger fast bowlers who are not part of the West Indies team, they're gonna migrate and get citizenship and play with it. As soon as cricket becomes much more popular in the US and they wanna garner players, they'll find a way to bring them in. And there's a lot of Indians in the US also who play cricket, and it's become much more popular actually. So DC's right. Was it DC or Omar Henry? But Henry, one of them mentioned this, which DC mentioned this, which is cricket becoming more and more popular in the US, and will become more and more popular as the Indian population increase or the population from Asia increase. Yes, because back in the days we had no we didn't have all the distractions. There was no cable TV. You had one TV channel in JBC. You didn't have no video games. You ain't got no FIFA to play. You ain't got none of that stuff. Your fun was playing sports, right? Nowadays that's changed. You have much more distractions, and plus the sun hot at Jamaica. Seems to play night cricket now because the sun too hot, way too hot. But enough of West Indies cricket because it's going in one direction. Bad direction. Second item, track and field. I'm going to touch on track and field a little before going to football. I saw with Adrian Kerr, who went to KC, by the way, qualified for the 200 meters for the World Championship. So more power to him. Hopefully, Taylor will also do the same thing. He was pretty close at the national trials. Hopefully, he'll make the qualifying time. What is it, 20.1? Or is it, 20.1. So hopefully, he can make the qualifying time. And we can have 3 representatives in the 200 because Levine already made it, right? The only disappointment I think I have with the track and field, apart from the individuals who decide to go to Turkey, especially in the field events, is that Tia Clayton will not be able to run because she didn't make the team because she pulled up, which is kind of sad for her. But there are a few ladies who and some gentlemen who need to make the qualifying time. I think one of the 800 meters runner just made the qualifying time, which is good on his part. So that's a good thing to see those individuals who won at the trials or do well at trials can compete in the World Championship. Would be interesting. 2060. I thought it was 20. Isn't it 20.1? Maybe I missed something. But anyway, if you're running under 20.2, you're running fast. It's amazing what the times are nowadays. Everybody seems to be running 19.8, 19.9. If the Noah Lives or Tobago, you're running 19.7. What happened with cricket? It's a lack of interest. That's part of it. Nobody wants to stand up in the sun for 5 days, or for 3 days, or for 2 hours for that matter. Yeah. But in track and field, I'm looking forward to the World Championship, actually. I'll be doing a lot of shows during that time period for the championship, and hope Jamaica does well. We only won 1 gold at the Olympics. We got to do better in this time around. Hopefully Jackson get her form back. Tina continues to improve. I don't think Shelly will win anything. I think Shelly's better days are behind her, but good to see her made the team. I don't think if Tia was injured, she'd make the team. So she had good luck on that day. So let's jump into football. I'll do EPL, then do Jamaica football. So in EPL, as many of you know, I support Arsenal. And we get our grief all the time. Chelsea won the World Club Championship. I must admit, I'm surprised they beat PSG, because I watched PSG play throughout this tournament in the Champions League, and they were the best team. And I didn't watch the whole game. I only watched part of the game, but Chelsea dominated the game. At least the parts I saw, they dominated. Palmer was good. João Pedro looks better than he did at Brighton, maybe because he's playing with better players. So it should be interesting to see how Chelsea does in the upcoming season. They won, what, 85 million, whatever the number is? So they got 85 million in their coffers to spend. They spent, since Bowley came on board, they spent about 1.5 billion. That's a lot of money, 1.5 billion pounds in a few years. It's a lot of money to spend, buying a lot of players and giving them 8 and 10-year contracts. But Chelsea won. Kudos to Chelsea. Now, in the next few weeks, next three weeks or so, the EPL will start, and we'll see what happens. In terms of transfers, if we touch upon the team of significance, Manchester United only bought 1 player of note, right? Cunha. They're trying to get Mboino, but that's not happening for some reason. I guess they don't have the money to spend, or they're trying to wait out Brentford, but they don't realize that Brentford, after losing their coach, they may have to send Wissa. They lost Nogard, their captain. I don't know. They may not be too happy, even though I think they've bought a replacement for Mboino already. So they're probably going to sell him, but you want to get your players in as early as possible and avoid situation where they're not getting preseason. Right? You don't want to do that. I agree with you, Float, about Shelley. And for Arsenal, we're getting Gyökeres, but I want, of all the players we have bought so far, I'll admit, I am more enthused by Eze versus any other player. Yes, we need a center forward, and he's a good player. And if he does half of what he did in Portugal, because he scored about 54 goals in 52 games, if he scored half the goals he scored 26 in the games we play, I'll be happy. Yes, I heard that Brentford looking at Amari Hutchinson, who's where at Ipswich. It's going to be interesting, actually. I don't think he can fill. He can't fill that player's shoes. Not at this point, anyway. And Bueno is a different type of player, much more physical, much more complete player. But yeah, it'd be interesting if Hutchins gets in the team and what that means for him as related to England. He's in the under-21 team. He's a starting under-21. Jamaica should not have missed out on this player. I know Hutchinson and his family play these games, to be honest, about whether they're at Arsenal or at Chelsea. They're trying to make sure he maximized his opportunity as a player. And Jamaica may never had a chance to get him in the traditional sense and cap him. But I think we could have done a better job of making him feel welcome. And maybe he'd be part of the team now. Right? Yeah, I know he wants to go to Man U, but it takes money to go to Man U. And Man U seem like they don't have any money. I'm not buying PSG getting tired. They got tired, their ass whooped. Sorry, excuse my French, Henry. They ain't tired. Everybody's tired. This time of the year, everybody's tired. Chelsea had no rest either. Chelsea won the Conference League, so they probably play as much game as PSG. I'm not buying the tired stuff. Not buying it. Even though I would have made Chelsea use 2 teams in the competition. They used one for the Conference League and they used one for the Premier League. But still, I think Chelsea was just better. But the sun was hot, so you never know. There's some credence to the story, but I'm not going to blame it on tiredness. It's a tournament football, so on any day you can get beaten. And that's what happened on that day. I bet if they played 10 times, the game wouldn't go the same. But also, people got to give credit that Fernandez and Caicedo is a brute in the middle, just a brute. And I want to touch upon that a little bit when we come to talk about Jamaica football. But he's been exceptional, frankly. We were thinking about buying him the January before we bought Rice, and we wouldn't have lost either way. He's just a really complete CDM, and hard to play as a footballer. You think he went as far as putting on a Jamaican jersey? No, I don't think so. I think we were off. Look, if you're Hutchinson, you're playing National Stadium in awful circumstances. You play Trinidad in Montego Bay when the pitch was awful. You're playing Kingston. You're a young kid who's been good since you were 7 years old. You've had all these things given to you. You come to Jamaica. You just think he was trying to play for the junior team, man is saying we're trying to cap him and lock him in. He didn't like that. And then you get booed at the National Stadium. And then they interview you and asking you about Whisper versus about your performance. I think I may realize I'm not welcome. And by the way, I plan to do a show sometime later this week talking about a couple players. I'm talking a couple parents in England whose sons wanted to play for Jamaica, trying to get naturalized and having a nightmare trying to get naturalized. They sent me a lot of information of them trying to get naturalized. I'm going to talk about their situation. They didn't want to come on the channel per se, but they gave me the information so I can talk to it. But it's been a nightmare working with PICA to get their papers. And that makes it discouraging. And we don't think about the kids who are trying to be the one to get an opportunity to play. All we think about is the kids in Jamaica who we believe going to be disadvantaged because these people supposedly overseas have these great advantages. And some of them are just as in the same situation as people in Jamaica are. But we discriminate against them and we justify that with our nonsense. Right? But I'm going to do a show on it because they've reached out to me and I'm going to talk about their situation, their circumstances, and what they're going through as relates to their kids who have an affinity and who would like to play for Jamaica, but can't even get the papers, can't even get their passport and their citizenship. Amazing situation, amazing story, actually. But back to the whole talk EPL a little bit and then come back to Jamaica football. For the EPL, Arsenal has had a great transfer window. We have bought 5-6 players. We have bought the kid from Valencia, the defender. We have bought Norgard, the captain of Brentford. We have bought Gokares is probably going to be complete pretty soon from Sporting. We bought Zubamende. Norgard for Brentford. We've been buying a lot of players. We bought Madueke from Chelsea, who people say Chelsea didn't want. I'm not sure why Chelsea sold him. I mean, I thought they won 5 players for every position. I'm sort of surprised they sold him. And then people say, well, we buy too many Chelsea players and they will have petition for the kid. Let me say some people. Fans are, I'm going to use a very bad word. Fans can sometimes just be crude and rude and awful. The kid didn't ask to play for Arsenal, right? It's not the kid's fault Arsenal want to pay £50 million for him. He didn't ask for it. They asked to buy him. Chelsea says, of course we sell him to you because we want the money, because we have a lot of interest. And he decided to come because he probably liked the team. Why are we slating the kids? Why are we being so rude and awful to him? It makes no sense. Should we have bought him at the expense of other positions? I don't think so. But I think he's an England international. They're always saying England are good. Is that what they're saying in England? That England are good? Because many people in England doing this, There's other people from other regions where Arsenal fans may chime in. But the people in England starting these petitions, they're the ones who on these shows and say they don't want him and are awful. And then some of these same pundits who say they don't want him and say all these bad things are the same ones who then, after the fact, are saying, oh, well, the petition is bad. Well, you started it. You generated all this negative vibes, right? The same thing they did when Ramsdale, who is British, by the way, was being sold and bringing Raya. I was one of the people who said, Ramsdale ain't good enough. Sorry. He's not good enough. He's not what we need. I'll take somebody else. They brought Raya in, and now Raya is the best thing since sliced bread. Amen says, Brentford will be in a lot of problems this year. They won't get a lot of good players. As per air, they'll be really good. Well, it depends, right? They'll generate the funds, and the question is, who can they buy? I do think we have some lazy recruiting in England. Lazy recruiting. Because I always found it interesting where Germany, the teams in Germany, who have less resources can find all these gems from France and other locations, right? And then sell them on to England for tons of money. Whether it's Cesco, whether it's what's the kid that Newcastle is trying to buy from France? It's a bunch of them, right? It's the same thing. The English teams are impatient. They have a lot of money. They try to buy ready-made players, and sometimes it doesn't work. And sometimes you see some players who have potential or gems, and they don't buy them. They go to some other location. They build up their stats, and then in England, they pay tons of money for them. And sometimes it doesn't work out, obviously. Dortmund has a great model, a self-sustaining model. They buy all these young players for in the 20s, teens, low 30s, and sell them on for big money after 2 or 3 years. It's a model that works for them. And they also do well. They make Champions League almost every year. They almost missed it last year, but they make it almost every year. But in EPL, Arsenal has a good transfer window. Liverpool has had an excellent window. I think they probably still need a center forward because Nunez doesn't score enough, and they lost Jota. And condolences to Jota's family. So they do need a center forward. Isak is their main target, but Isak is not costing less than 150. Not costing less than 150. So they didn't spend any money the previous year, so they have a lot of money saved up. But for Wurtzler, they paid, 100 million? They bought the kid from Bournemouth for another 40, 50. They bought Frimpong for another, 29, 30. So they have spent, probably about 160, 170 million pounds, and they still have some money in the coffers, it appears. You can afford to lose, 105 million over a 3-year period. So you don't have to be profitable. You just can't lose over a certain amount. And Liverpool seems to be in a great place. And frankly, if you're Liverpool, you can make a lot of money from winning the EPL, even though the difference between bottom and top in the EPL is not that great in terms of what you win. You get a lot of TV money. You got Champions League money. You have some sales that you get sometimes, even though they only get 10 million for Trent. I wonder if Real Madrid made their money back from Trent. They paid 10 million for Trent. I thought that was the dumbest deal ever in football. Paying $10 million for a player who can't defend. I don't know how that works. Now, if you get him on the free, fine, but why are you going to pay $10 million for about 3 weeks worth of service and he can't defend and he got injured too? Not smart. But then the Real Madrid print money anyway, so it doesn't matter. Omar says, Arsenal is a serious contender. Yeah, and finally, Arteta has no excuse. Zero excuse, people. We don't want to hear it this year. We don't want to hear anything about anything. Now, if we have some horrible injuries, like we did last year with Havertz and Saka, maybe. But even then, we're supposed to have 2 players in every position. Now, if we get Eze, we'll have 2 number 10s. We have 2 attacking midfielders. We have Norgard backing up Zubimendi. We have Luis Kelly at left back with Calafiori. I know what happened with Zinchenko. We have Ben White on the bench and Timber at right. Then we have Rice with Merino. We should have Odegaard, and if we can get Eze, and Eze probably will take his spot because Eze is a better player to me. And why we have Madueke and Martinelli. And on the right, we have Saka, and we have, if he signed his contract, Nwaneri. And up front, we have Havertz, and we have Gyökeres. We have 2 players in every, and then we have in the goalkeeper, we bought, I don't want to call anybody a reject, but the former Chelsea from Chelsea, Kepa, and then we have Raya. So we have at least 2 players in every position or starters. Because in defense, we're buying a kid from Valencia. We have the 2, the best pair of center halves in Saliba and Gabriel. We have Calafiori there, and we're buying a kid from Valencia to be the right center back. So we have 2 players for every position, and all of them should be able to be starters. He has no excuse. I don't think they're as good as Partey, actually, but I do think, I don't know how good Zubimendi is, actually. When I watch him play, I think he's good, not great. They talk about him as he's a world beater. I think Partey had all the attributes of a great midfielder and demonstrated week after week. Don't know where he's going to go. He's busy fighting his rape case. I don't know what's going to happen there. Javar said, if Hutchinson go to Brentford, Pinnock will be in skin to come to Jamaica. Yeah, but does he want to come? Where he's going to come out? Sit on the bench? He's not going to start. He's going to start over Bailey. Coach doesn't have that credit in the bank to do that. He's going to start over Gray. Gray's in the championship. He may be in the Premier League. Maybe. He's not starting over Greenwood. I'm going to love to see how the coach plays. I said I was going to talk a lot of Greenwood and that tonight, but I'll touch upon it a little bit. I'm gonna get to that. After I talk about something about Jamaica football. Two more things before I get into the whole lineup. But one is about, I'm gonna digress a little bit and leave the EPL and go to Jamaica football. Obviously, I'm seeing in different forums where Rudolph Speed and Tapa Whitmore are going to get their pro license, and part of that whole pro license setup is them having UEFA coaches who are assessing and reviewing the CONCACAF standards and process and probably provide feedback into it. So Jamaica may soon have 2 pro license coaches. I thought it took a year or some period of time after you go through the theory and you have to do the practical. It's more administration and management. It's not necessarily how you execute in the field to get your pro license. Maybe that's why Rudolph getting excited about, somebody asked him about coaching Jamaica, and he's getting excited to say, basically people saying he's saying that he wants to coach Jamaica. I'm not sure exactly what he said, but it's something in that range. When Ricardo Chamber asked him the question. When I spoke to Rudolph, I didn't get the sense he wanted to coach Jamaica, I'll admit. I won't talk about what we talked about. I thought he had bigger fish to fry. I'll be sorry. I thought he had bigger fish to fry, but hey, who am I to know? Maybe that's his aspiration, right? But I think Rudolph also, I've never been a coach, but I get a sense from Rudolph that he's learned so much in the classroom, and he's now an instructor, that he believes you can't be a good coach per se unless you've gone through the classroom and get your licenses, right? And it may be true, to be honest. I don't know. Because maybe what you learn, you can't learn, unless you went through the process where you had coaches who had those capabilities and had the training impart that knowledge to you, you may not be able to learn some of those things. You can't just learn by osmosis. You could learn on your own, like being self-taught, like how some kids are self-taught at home, but still have to be practical in terms of implementing it. So more power to Rudolph, actually, and more power to Tapa. No, Emin, he's not capped because he only played under 21. He hasn't played for the senior team yet. So he's not capped. No, he's not capped yet, but I'm sure he hopes to get capped. Because if he goes to Brentford and plays well, it's still a hard task to make the England team. You got Madueke, you got Palmer, you got Gordon, you got Saka. You got a lot of competition. And then Rashford is not out the mix. Tuchel, like him, he has a lot of competition. I don't think he's close to the England first team. He'd be like a McAtee, for example, who may end up in Germany. I don't think he's close to the first team yet. But I'm sure I'm sure they want to cap him and just get it over with and don't have to worry about him playing for us going forward. So never know how that goes. Reggae Boys Reactor says, I am a individual who is in my feelings, and I'm gonna stay in my feelings. I interpret what he says. I'm in my feelings. I'm gonna stay in my feelings. Hey, you can be in your feelings. Your opinion, Reggae Boys Reactor. I'm not gonna negate your opinion or try to belittle your opinion. I would say this though, is that there are 2 sides to every story, and the kid's side is not a pretty one when it is to Jamaica. And frankly, he ain't losing nothing if he don't play for Jamaica. If he gets to play for England versus Jamaica, he ain't losing nothing. With all the confusion and stuff that Jamaica goes through, and that's anti-diaspora sentiment, he ain't losing nothing. Yeah, but I don't think he's gonna lose anything. He's playing for England on 21. He probably exhausts that this year. If you don't travel 9 hours all the time to come to this part of the world, put up with the nonsense, you may not lose anything. That may not sound good, but it's true. Until we create an environment that facilitates people feeling welcome, then what are they losing? They're losing what? The abuse? Come on. We have this misconception that we are so awesome and we are so great, and everybody should come love to play for us when we act awful a lot of times. Not buying that. DeMar said, Hutchinson would be a star for us for years. I would love to have him in Greenwood recruiting for us. Of course. But even if they recruit for us, we wouldn't bring the people in. We have to play the local players. They ain't getting no game. We're doing that right now. We have Dixon playing over Tyrese Campbell. And the coach explained it by saying, oh, one is more experienced in this region than the other. But he can't make his club team bench. But he's playing with the players who will start out for 46 games. After a while, your head just spin with the nonsense. Spin. Anyway. But now, go back to the coaching. I'm very pleased for Rudolph and for Tapa. I hope that this I hope them getting the pro license. I hope they get it, and if they get it, they will be able to become instructors who can also help with the coaching situation in Jamaica. And it brings me back someplace, which is one of my favorite players actually, who I liked and who I was trying to hope he came to Arsenal, was Caicedo, who came through Ecuador. If you go back to Ecuador 20 years ago, you'd be amazed they were in the football wilderness. They weren't that well respected in South America. They weren't doing well in South America 25 years ago. Now, what Ecuador did was they had one very wealthy individual who started his own team about 20 years ago, and sort of buy up a lot of the same model you see with Chelsea. It's almost like he has that Chelsea model, except he's not paying much money for the younger players. And also in Ecuador, what's happening is this, which is very interesting. Ecuador, if you go look at Ecuador's team 20 years ago, 25 years ago, and look at the pigmentation of the players on the field for Ecuador then and now, and tell me what you see. If you look at the pigmentation of the Ecuadorian players 20 years ago, 25 years ago versus today, tell me what you see. It's amazing the change that they're making it. And what they realize in Ecuador, what you realize is that the people who have African descent, who now realize that this is an out for them as it relates to them choosing a vocation like football, which gives them opportunity. More and more of them are playing football and playing at the highest level and using their athleticism. And a lot of them are playing for the same team that this very rich person put in place. Great setup. I had a staff at my last job who came from Ecuador and migrated to the US, but was an auditor for one of the big accounting firms in Ecuador, like a PwC type firm. I think it was PwC, not mistaken. And his family has business done really well. But he was telling me, we always talk about football, and he was walking me through how Ecuador works and why they're doing so well nowadays. And he said, what he says is that they had one rich individual who bring a lot of young players in. They have a great academy. They bring coaches over from like Spain, like from Barcelona, to come to Ecuador. That person get the players in young. They have great coaches, great setup, build them up, and sell them on for significant profit. So Caicedo came through that whole program. And when he went to Brighton, it wasn't a ton of money, but it was millions for him. And then when he went to Chelsea, they had a sell-on fee. They had a sell-on clause. So they get money when he went to Chelsea also. So they probably get 10%. Well, I don't know what number they got of the 100 million, but imagine that in Ecuador is a lot of money. So they've done, and half the national team, I think, comes through that team. Half the players' national team, I think, comes through that team. I forgot the name of the organization, but I was thinking about it, and I said this the other day. You hear me say this about the Caribbean should have an all-star team, because what is being discussed more recently, well, two things. One is we've always talked about what model Jamaica should emulate and what they should look as an example to help the football improving. Because even though things in Jamaica has improved generally, I'm not sure the football itself has improved as much as it should between 1998 and now, the quality of the football, right? And the question I ask myself is, what model can you emulate to help you? Now, Speed talk about Belgium, and he talk about coaching in Belgium, and that's the key thing to help them, where they went from being 60-something in the world to number one for a while, now in the top 10. I've talked about Spain a lot, and how much pro coaches they have, and how well they've done in having coaches basically throughout Europe and other places doing coaching and doing really well and being dominant. And they have more pro license than any other country per capita by far. But I've also asked the question, which country that doesn't have resources that we can leverage to help us think through what program we can have given the limited resources that we have? Ecuador may be one we look at, right? It may be one we look at. Now, you probably want more than, I know how Jamaica is, and we're very parochial. So you probably wouldn't have one team buying up all the best players. But Mount Pleasant is probably an example of something like what they did in Ecuador, which maybe they've been doing in Jamaica, even though the person doing it comes from Ecuador, not necessarily from another country, like we have with Mount Pleasant. But the point I'm trying to make is this: is that currently there's discussion, thought being put on the table about how can this part of the world rival Europe. So Europe, as you know, has the top 5 leagues, the top 6 league. They have the Champions League. Champions League is supposed to have the best teams in the world, and they proved it in the Club World Cup because they had both teams in the final. Will the Americas, so South America and North America, are they going to combine? Or going to have something similar like a Champions League? What are they going to do? And then the question you ask yourself, if they do that, what's the implications to teams from the Caribbean or even Latin America, excluding, say, Mexico and, say, maybe even Costa Rica? Right? Because they're going to have to want to have the best teams play in some kind of Champions League type tournament. And if we can't get out of the Caribbean and we haven't scored a goal in the last 2 years, which is Cavaliers winning the Caribbean Championship, then those teams may not get into, which is going to be a very lucrative tournament. As we saw in the Club World Cup, where no Caribbean team, people listed this, no Caribbean team got to participate in a tournament where they printed money. None. So the Caribbean doesn't get to benefit from what's happening in their region, where teams in the region get a chance to play in this lucrative tournament, and we can't produce even one team good enough to make it. It's not a good thing. Right? Now, I don't think B-Life is good enough to coach no kids. As Speed said, B-Life is basic, and it's basic. If you go to Europe, if you're under 17, I think it is, you get coached by A license. They have degrees in terms of where it is. Depends on how you want to define a kid. Is a kid 14, 15, or is a kid 6, 7? I think you need an A license to coach anybody between, say, 12 and 18, where I view it. And then after that should be a pro license. I think you have to bring the standard up because the competition you're facing is on the world level. The misconception we have is that the competition we're facing is at a local level. No, you're competing against the best in the world. That's why we struggle so much. So your quality of education has to be at that level. I think B license to me is basic license. Do you have to do more? Doesn't mean a B license coach can be a very good coach, but I think you have to set certain standard, which is hard to achieve. Weed out the people who don't have the capability, like you do in high school, frankly. Well, Jamaica high schools be like that, not anymore, but still people go to the best schools. It's an elitist coaching construct. Now, everybody can be a coach, but you want to bring through quality talent, and you have to have the best coaches to bring that talent through. It doesn't make sense we have all these pro coaches at the JPL level. When you get the kids at the JPL level, when they finish high school or when they matriculate to the JPL, and they still can't control the ball, and you got to teach them how to control, that's not what your pro license is supposed to be doing. So I don't think that works. I think they have to make sure they have stringent measures for those individuals who are going to be coaching those kids. Now, I think I'm going to go back to that Reggae Boys react. I read the criteria, and I forgot what it was now when I was doing some research on FIFA about the UEFA license. It's online, actually, so we can look it up. It's online. We can look it up. That's where I noticed that Spain had so many coaches, much more than any other country, more than Germany, more than any other countries, and much bigger countries. Spain only have, 40-something million people? They had many more coaches than most of the other countries. Tycoon says, Kranky, big statement, that great point. There's no way all this money was in FIFA World Cup. No team of Caribbean with the league was in the US. Yeah. US had Miami, Inter Miami there. They had Seattle there. Yeah. US getting some of that money. Whether it's money for hosting the games or money from their teams or South America got a lot of money. Every other region got money except the Caribbean. Maybe not Latin America. I think Mexico had a team there, didn't they? I don't know any team from the El Salvador, Guatemala region, but they're just like us, actually. But the Caribbean with 40-something million people had not even one team. Crazy. Not one team. What color is London? London doesn't have a color. It's a very diversified city. It doesn't have any color. It's a very diversified city. Mexico had 2 teams. Okay, so Mexico gonna get money as usual. So maybe Latin America, excluding Mexico, the Caribbean, didn't have any team, but we focus on the Caribbean because we have 3/4 of the votes in CONCACAF. The Caribbean, we're gonna get to this tonight, but it lacks leadership. It's bad. The lack of leadership in the Caribbean is awful, awful, awful. People who are leading these organizations in the Caribbean, these federations. Most of them should be leading. They shouldn't. London is blue. I thought London didn't have any colors. It's a very diverse city. What are you talking about? Yeah, I gotta go back and look what they had in Europe though. But I was gonna be surprised about what A license got you in Europe. I know I saw something. I forgot what age group it did, but it wasn't adults actually. It wasn't people in academies who were 19, 20. It was, I forgot what age it was. I was a little bit surprised. I was like, wow. Brazil had Botafogo. What they had? But they had Palmeiras. They had Botafogo, Palmeiras. Yeah. A lot of countries had 2. I mean, not a lot of countries have 2 teams. England had 2 teams. Germany had 2 teams. La Liga had 2 teams? Or was it 1? They had Real Madrid. Who was it they have? They have Atletico Madrid. Yeah, a lot of those countries had 2 teams. This with the Caribbean is questionable. Questionable is a euphemism for poor. They're poor. We have done nothing to think strategic. Now, look, Rudolph is trying to say that he hopes the coach can get a certain place by 2030. And it may. It depends. He's getting his pro license. Tapa getting his pro license. So that's a good thing. That accreditation can't hurt, right? And hopefully the accreditation they get qualifies them to coach in most places. We'll see how the approximation is between the curriculum in the Caribbean and the curriculum in the more stringent jurisdiction like UEFA. I think that should be interesting to see. It's supposed to be marrying them to see where they come out. But I'm sure Rudolph will do well. He's a smart man. I'm sure he'll do well. And I'm sure Tapa will do well also. He's coached at a high level. So a lot of times that experience ties into how they think about your abilities and your coaching. So both of them may get the pro license, a good thing. And then they'll have people like Rudolph Boston go through the process subsequently. Yeah, but 18 is 18. If you have an A license UEFA, which is probably the highest standard, and you're 18, so that means anybody 18 plus is not being coached by anybody no one under a pro is coaching those individual. That's the difference. Good night. Who am I speaking to?
Good night. Speaking to Alex Kranky, I call him.
Alex, how you doing, Alex?
I'm doing good.
How is our governor's country? How is DeSantis' country?
Oh my God, that Santos is doing a bunch of crazy stuff down here. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
They just passed. Supreme Court just passed a bill that's they just passed a thing where the Ron DeSantis wanted the police officers to do ICE work, and they're not federal officers. So it's crazy. Yeah, so it's crazy down here. And he didn't want any people that work as immigrant to send money outside the country to their families in the other country. So they blocked that too. I don't get it, Kranky, to be honest.
No. You should get it. You should get it. They don't want you in the country. What do you mean?
Yeah, but Kranky, but listen, Ron DeSantis, his parents are Spanish. They're from a different country. I don't know if it's Cuban or some Spanish country, right?
Yeah.
And I'm saying we're not trying to deter from the football reason, but immigrants make up the country, Kranky. They do all the work that the Americans they don't want to do. They do roofing, they do flooring, they go on the farms and pick cottons. They do all these farm work and they do hotel works and everything else work. The immigrants make a big part of the country, Kranky. When you ship these immigrants out, who's gonna do these work? I know American people not gonna do work, Kranky.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
You understand where I come from?
So
because when you go,
yeah, Alex, go ahead.
Right now, when you go to the construction sites and everything, they know nobody in the country.
Especially in Florida.
Exactly. A lot of Guatemalans live. Majority of Guatemalans live here in Florida. There's a majority of Guatemalans. You can find Mexicans, yes, a lot of Mexicans, but
A lot of
majority
Cubans
is
there too, right? A lot of
Guatemala.
Cubans there too, right? And
A
Venezuelans,
lot of
actually. Yeah.
Cubans and Venezuelans in Miami. That's where
Okay.
they are, Miami. But Kranky, it's a very disastrous thing that going on here in Florida. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But
Well,
anyways,
yes, go ahead.
Rudolph Speed and Tapper, I just have to applaud them going out and go get the pro license. I like this Kranky. I really do like
It is
it.
a
I
good,
don't know if you feel about it.
it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
It's a very good thing.
Yep.
I think their knowledge will get broader and then they would have more knowledge to do a playing style and go up against better coaches and they get accredited to do all of these things. I think now what JFF should do should have pushed all of their coaches now and push them up to get the pro license. So the pro license is still equivalent to the pro license they're getting in is the equivalent to the pro license UEFA, right?
Supposedly UEFA is going to be part of the whole process and doing some marrying between. That's what I'm hearing. I don't have all the facts between what they do in the CONCACAF and what they're going to be, what UEFA would expect to make sure the licenses are sort of similar in terms of the curriculum. That's my understanding. I don't have all the facts, and I haven't gotten it from authentic source. I'm just hearing it through the grapevine, so I don't know. I can't speak to it intelligently because I haven't got all the facts about it. I need to do some more research.
So that's the highest license the UEFA.
UEFA is deemed to be the standard bearer as it comes to football coaching. Yeah.
Wow.
That's why Spain. That's why you see Spain the way Spain is, because they have the most pro licensed coaches in the world, frankly, by a good distance. Not even close. The numbers are really, really. They have as much pro licensed coaches as probably England and Germany combined.
But the coaches are good though. I don't understand, Frankie.
But that's it, right?
Very good. They're very good, Kranky.
Yeah.
Anywhere you go, even I'm a Manchester United fan, right? But look at Unai Emery. He comes in Aston Villa where Aston Villa was struggling, and he bring them to a different playing style. Or they're playing very good. The Bournemouth coach that coach in the Premier League comes and he transfer Bournemouth. He sell a couple players in this season. Dean Hoyson. I forgot who else.
The kid from on the left back from Hungary, yeah.
Yeah. Kerr.
Yeah.
So I mean, the good Spanish coaches are very, very, very good. Kranky.
Yeah, you have Arteta, you have Pep, you have the coach from Crystal Palace, a bunch of coaches.
And I'm telling you, these coaches are transforming these teams, Kranky.
Yep.
You can see the playing style with these coaches. I mean, I have a few English coaches out there that they're doing their job properly too. Like the coach in Newcastle, a very good coach.
He's the only one. Potter is now at West Ham, but Potter didn't do well at Chelsea, so
yeah.
There's only one from England so far.
There's a coach that I like, Kranky, where I don't really talk about still, but he's in the championship this year, and I'm looking for a good thing from him. His name is Will Still. He's coach. He was coaching in France.
Okay.
And they had to pay a fine for $20,000 every game because he never have the UEFA Pro license at that time. But he's a very, very, very young coach. I think he started off his coaching career playing, football manager. They play on the computer.
Yeah.
And then he got the accreditation up, and now he's coaching Southampton right now. Okay. So I'm looking then. And then David Ancelotti coaching Botafogo in Brazil, branching out from his dad, was linked with Rangers. So I mean, they have good young coaches coming up, Kranky. But my job is Kranky is that when we qualify for World Cup, I don't think if I'm talking about when we qualify for World Cup, I don't think I would like for going into World Cup or playing with Steve McLaren. I would like to get a different coach like Wilfred Nancy, that's a no-nonsense coach, Kranky. I don't know what you think, Steph.
Who's a no-nonsense coach?
Wilfred Nancy.
I have talked about Nancy a little bit. I think Nancy he won. Didn't he win with Cincinnati? He won with those teams, right? I mean, he's a good coach.
Yeah,
he's what, French?
French and Haitian. Haitian too.
Well, we use the word French, so. but no, he's a good coach. He's a well-respected coach. I'm sure he's going to go on to bigger and better things. I don't know where Jamaica is going to go. Sometimes it's hard to get those coaches because they cost a lot of money, right? Jamaica can only afford at this point between $500,000 and maybe 300,000, something in that range, or three.
But which coach would you? Which coach?
I was told that Rudolph Speed is next door to Jamaica. I don't believe it, but that's what I'm told.
You think Rudolph Speed?
I mean, when
Cranky,
Ricardo asked him the question, it seemed to infer because if Rudolph want to be coach of Jamaica, he's going to coach Jamaica, right? The only problem I see with that, here's a problem with that, though. Here's a problem with that.
Yeah.
People would lose their minds.
Yeah, but that's cause a problem, Cranky. That's cause a whole problem, Cranky.
Yeah, it would.
It cause a problem, Cranky. Not gonna look good. I tell you,
I don't know how Rudolph expect if look, Rudolph. I spoke to Rudolph when I was in Jamaica. I didn't get the sense he wanted to coach Jamaica, frankly. I know he's a very ambitious man. But let's say Rudolph get a chance. Huh?
I mean, maybe you can coach a youth team.
No, but it's still gonna be no matter who he coaches a problem. He's a problem right now being chair of the technical committee and owning Cavaliers and coaching Cavaliers. Can you imagine him coaching national team and fill up with Cavaliers players? People would lose their mind.
Yeah.
It'd be crazy. It'd be totally crazy, unacceptable. That can't work. Unless he put his Cavaliers in a trust and he doesn't coach Cavaliers anymore. That's a different story. But then he owns Cavaliers, so why would he do that? I don't know. I'm not gonna speculate on that. We'll see what happens. It's too early to think about that.
Miguel Coley, you will give him a chance.
I don't like to take chances with my team. Go prove yourself and then come back. Go coach a team. Go coach a national team or go coach a club team and be very successful. Then we can talk.
True.
Right? This whole concept because I'm gonna give you a job because you're a pro coach and you're from the island. That's not the way to do it. You need a coach with a resume and a good resume to get an opportunity to coach a team. That's how it should be.
True.
I mean, money's tight, right? JFF don't have any money. They had money at one point. They were doing well. I wouldn't say they had money, but they were in a better place. But getting knocked out of the Gold Cup early didn't help at all. They lost a lot of money from that.
I think the coach will play a big part in that too, Ranky. His selection is very. I think he realized his selection wasn't great.
The coach is challenged. Look, I think the coach has to be ruthless.
Yeah, ruthless, Cranky, skin teeth with people, and that will feel like him please everybody, and him not be ruthless, Cranky, like I don't want a coach to be ruthless. The ruthless and cut out decisions, Cranky. I mean, him not making them cut out decisions. The coach supposed to make cut out decisions. Let Liam Bailey come sit down on the bench.
I hear a lot of people picking their teams, and none of them have Bailey on the bench.
Cranky, I think Bailey should go on the bench due to the past of him playing in the last Gold Cup. I think Bailey should not start. Be honest.
Yeah, but not everybody have the same view that you do.
I know, but would you start Mason Greenwood and just chuck him in there like he just come to the national team, or you would like come and make it come on?
Mason Greenwood doesn't know what the bench look like.
Okay, but where would you play him?
Which team you see Mason Greenwood on the bench from? When he goes peeing, did they put him on the bench, make him acclimate, or they put him right away in that team? When he went to Marseille, did they put him on the bench or they put him on the field?
Put him on the field.
Yeah, exactly.
My class, tell me, Kranky, so.
I don't know what McLaren's gonna do. My hope is that he gets brave and pick the right team. My hope is that he start doing some work and earn his paycheck. My hope is that the recruiting gets better and he has almost an all EPL team on the field. Because at this point, his coaching is not going to get us anywhere. The quality of the players will get us someplace. And not all the players who have been discussed, not all 5 players will get their papers before September games.
No, I think about 3 or 4 of them, Kranky, right?
Maybe 3. It may not be 4.
Yeah, but 3.
At what point they expect to be 5, and now, given how things are going, look, the whole Pika situation, the whole player situation, no club situation, it's difficult.
I think what we need to do going in the new September. Are you gonna be in Jamaica, Kranky?
I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
Yeah, if Mason Greenwood are picking a September team, I'm gonna go to that game.
I thought Mason was gonna make it for the game last month. I thought he would have made it, but that didn't happen.
Yeah, but if he pick for next month, me and my dad's gonna go to that game. Definitely, for sure. Car done plan already until them that we wanna go.
Well, the whole Mason Greenwood situation divides opinion. It's more positive, much more positive than negative.
Why people then deal with him? Why people then deal with him good to Kranky? More than welcoming Kranky.
Yeah. I think they will. I think they will. I think they will. Now, there's all concern about the playing surface and will he acclimate and can the midfield get him the ball. All those are genuine concern, but I think they'll be fine.
Green would be fine, Kranky. Me I tell us him I gonna be fine, Kranky.
Yeah.
You see Green would be Kranky. I just feel like him just always have something like about him, Kranky. You can't take the ball off 5 foot so easy, Kranky. If you really watch him play for Marseille, in a Marseille, you can't take the ball off 5 foot so easy, Kranky. He always a create chance for himself and one piece of left foot the Kranky. Me I tell you, anywhere kick it from. I don't know if one target foot in Kranky, but the ball always kick on target. Him just elite, Kranky. He's a very elite player.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree.
Yeah, but my run let you know, Kranky.
Yeah, man, bless him. Yeah, man, bless up. All right, we're just calling. Somebody just calling me. Who is this? Cataract, call me back. Come now, we have a long conversation with you. I'm going to go to bed. But yeah, I mean, Whitmore and Speed are off to Trinidad to get their pro license. So we'll see what happens. And that's why you hear me, people the other day, you hear me saying that I didn't think. So here's where it comes in, people. I didn't think Rudolph. Once again, Cataract. I didn't think Rudolph did the best job of giving Trinidad credit when it comes to the whole coaching situation. Trinidad them gone and get the license. So when you talk about say they had the St. Kitts game and that's what the genesis for them start the coaching school and all that, I think he downplays Trinidad's role, which I didn't totally appreciate. Go ahead, Cataract.
Good night.
Good night, sir. You're the last caller for the evening.
The last caller.
Yes.
I always try.
And it's a 10-minute call because yours truly is getting seasoned and he can't stay up too late.
Which season?
He's not like DJs and selectors who can stay up long. So 10 minutes. Floor is yours. I'll shut up.
Won't be longer than that. The first thing I would say to Reggae Boys fans is, look, help is on the way. Cataract has entered the reference. Help is on the way. So, fret not about September and who we will see.
So who's coming, Cataract? Can you tell us? Because we don't know. Can you tell us?
No. I couldn't disclose. I couldn't disclose. But that help.
So yeah, keep secret for the fans. Them Cataract. Yeah, keep secret. How much help we getting? 3, 4 help, 5 help, 6 help. How much help we get?
What I will tell you is that should an event occur before September, then with immediate effect, there'd be some changes to what happens at Pika.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because you know enough people don't like Pika, right?
It's not Pika as the problem. It's not Pika as the problem.
What's the problem?
I'll show you that. It's the relationship.
No. Cataract. Pika's a problem. Pika's a problem. No, Pika is not just the people you deal with. No. Me, I tell you, Pika is not just the people you deal with. Pika is a global organization, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when we say Pika, we can't pick out one segment of Pika who may do things a certain way and it's restricted by certain else. In England, for example, I have 2 people now who put in their papers from 2022, 23, and they show me the communication I have with Pika. It's ugly, back and forth, lack of communication, lack of information. And they are frustrated beyond belief. So think you have a kid who is 16, 2 years, trying to play for the junior team, and people's gone on dungeon someplace and disappear.
So when you have 8 entities that have to work together,
yeah,
there's often it works best when you have a clear memorandum of understanding that delineates how the relationship works, that it can be most effective.
So you're talking about JFF and Pika. Wait, no. You're talking about JFF and Pika. What I'm saying is this is not just JFF and Pika. It's other people who maybe want to be part of the JFF process, but they're not part of the JFF process, right?
Well, I don't know about the individual persons. What I'm saying is if somebody is going in on a one-off,
right,
you may encounter the odd lackadaisical worker, the over-exuberant pencil pusher. But for an organization like JFF, what is not happening, is that these requests are not coming from the JFF. They're coming from individual applicants.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. No, I agree with that wholeheartedly.
There is a, well, let me not talk too much, but there is a process through which someone can apply to PICA through an official accredited agent. Lawyers being one, immigration lawyers in Jamaica being one. And so for me, there's no reason why the Jamaica Football Federation, who acts as an agent for a number of overseas-based players who would like to get citizenship and passports, would not put themselves in a position to be able to act as an official agent in the PICA system.
They don't want to.
Thank you. Okay.
They don't want to.
Right, that's the answer.
Yeah.
So let's move along. So the other night in your exuberance, we had a clash. We had a clash. By the time I finished watching the 100 meters, which were amazing races,
right?
You cut off the stream. I cut off cataract at my
yeah, cutting your time and you have 5 minutes left. I try not to go over 2 hours in any of my show. I'm not going over 2 hours. I go 1 hour. And the other night I went over 10 minutes. I was so mad at myself. I have my own standards I'm adhering to. And there's a rationale for it.
Yeah, but you have some standards where you're late though. Right.
No, I've only been late once and I get grief. People who don't have the audacity. No fun no. I thought I would have been late. Me late one time in my life, come on a program here. Cause something come up, emergency. I don't know, beat me to death. Come in one. I don't know come on my show, but I don't know why I come. So you come, but then you come. Hour and a half after show start, don't it? So when you can come whenever you want, and not criticize me, can become late one day. But I tell you why. The presumptiveness.
We're dealing with Jamaican people. So there you go. So, I would have expected leniency on that day based on my official standing in this YouTube space, number one. And number two, the fact that we were witnessing a rather miraculous night or a historic night of sprinting.
Oh, I remember when Keisha won. Oh yeah.
When Keisha won and Obliques in Bill with the Phantom.
I don't know what that was. I don't know what that was about. But yeah.
That was mind games if I ever saw one.
No. I don't think it was mind games. If you watch the previous race when he ran, I think he felt something, and he felt nervous. You know how that is. You feel like something, but you probably feel nervous about it, and you want to run. You don't want to run. I think he was having a meltdown because he thought he was going to be able to make the team.
It looked like a panic attack.
No, man, I don't think a panic attack. I think he was feeling something.
I thought to get up and feel something.
Wait. Somebody asked a question. You can't say it. You can't say it. Somebody asked one with Baker. Good or bad news? No news.
No, it's not. It is no news. I'd say this to players in England. When your granny alive, do the right thing that time.
No, it's no news because it's not good news. So it's no news.
Don't wait on granny for that. Don't wait on granny for that. My man was like Oblique Seville. He had the fastest time in the qualifier.
No, it was like Oblique finish.
When Tia Clayton, when the five players went down on the starting block, he was the favorite.
Hey, Cataract. I was following the story of Cataract. And from me hearing a Cataract, it was gone. You everybody else was at the finish at the starting line, and him gone.
Line up and in the near him burst out of the block.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
it's sad.
It's sad. It's sad. But the other thing, is that man have to understand that this is Jamaica. You understand, and it's not. Don't run like England. So. Don't try it like England.
That's why we thought it was done.
Yeah, don't try it like England. Yeah, you understand?
Yeah.
You can't come with your little British thing, your little British accent, because you're going to get stopped. You understand? Right. But sad. I don't think we would see Louis Baker in a Jamaica shirt. That would be my assessment.
Right. Yeah.
All But we might see someone else in a crucial position, and I will not say another word.
No. So I know of. Wait, I know of 5.
Confident.
So wait. So
Confident. We will see someone who is not in your 5, nowhere near.
you want bet? You want bet?
No,
You want bet?
not in your radar, nowhere.
Liar tell.
Nowhere
Liar
in your
tell.
radar.
That person can't be that good. They can't be that good then.
Well, the person plays in the Premier League.
I know of
in the Premier
5. They still in the Premier League, or are they going to go in the Championship?
They play in the Premier League.
They play for a team that's in the top 12.
They play in the Premier League.
Wait. Let's go there. Is it in the top 12?
Premier League.
Top 12?
They play in the Premier.
They're top 12 team? That's not true.
No.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking
No,
about.
you don't. And when we hang on the phone, I will take you with a gentleman.
No. We're on the phone. I'll tell you who the person is.
Okay, you tell me.
Okay.
Right.
When we're on the phone, we can't talk about it when people on the air.
No, we can't talk on the phone. So I want to just run through quickly, use my next 4 minutes
Yeah.
to tell you. I kind of like the team that you put up, I must say. I was really hoping
The 23 or the 11? 23 or the 11?
The 23.
Oh, okay.
I will share with you. So I had a quick thing to everybody there.
Wait. Which 23? The actual 23 or the prospective 23? Because maybe I had 26. Maybe I had 26 with the prospective. Okay.
Your perspective. And I'll tell you why. The coach must be his own man, and if the coach is his own man, then it will look something close to us.
Yep.
So for goalkeepers, I think the 4 we are all agreed on. The 4th being Kanaya Boyce Clark.
No, people were saying the kid from Stockport. What's his name? But he has some problem with his papers.
Not near to get to the papers.
Yeah. He had papers. Yeah.
Not near.
But he was being brought up a lot. Yeah.
I would have Kanaya Boyce Clark there again because he is 1 cap away from being cap-tied. You know what I mean? I don't know why he would allow a player to get 2 caps and then just load the thing.
Right.
He doesn't have a club. I understand he would be released by Reading, but I think he will find a team in League 1, League 2. And that should be fine. My left backs, I have Amari Bell, Tyreek Mitchell, and Rico Henry. I noticed that you had no place for Tyreek Mitchell in your squad, and I'm telling you this. Tyreek Mitchell is...
What are you talking about? No. That's nonsense. I had Tyreek Mitchell in my 26.
You didn't have Tyreek Mitchell on the pitch. You had Rico Henry on the pitch. And if you have Tyreek Mitchell, there's a wrong squad.
I got some information, but anyway, I can't. Anyway, go ahead.
So my understanding about Mitchell, and I'll be straight, is that one of his parents is Jamaican.
Yeah,
right?
But I don't know if Tyreek will be available come September. I don't expect Tyreek to be available come September.
I would be stunningly shocked. Because he for me, my understanding, he has one of the easiest pathways.
I know he does.
There are 2 players who have direct pathway. They can just come to Jamaica and do it. Tyreek Mitchell and Jaden Anthony. I don't know what the 2 of them are playing at.
I don't think Anthony has shown much interest actually, even though I had him on my list.
Right, I don't know what they're playing at. But I understand that Mitchell, you know. My right backs, I have Dexter Lembekisi, Max Aarons, and Dujon Sterling.
Is Dujon papers being processed? I didn't get that information.
I don't know.
I know he was in Jamaica on the beach, but I've heard about Dujon being processed.
And again, I don't understand how people come to Jamaica and the federation, the management, and management have to beat the bad for this. The team manager, you're supposed to be tracking these things like we should. You're supposed to go up on the beach and sit outside and the manager say, hey, see the Farbeer, fill it out. And then we take a picture of your passport while you're at it. You know, we have to be proactive. But those I said were 3 right backs. So I reached 10 because I have 4 goalkeepers in my 30-man, right? Left centre back, Ethan Pinnock, Deshaun Bernard, Mason Holgate.
Isn't Deshaun out till October? I know Chris Smith was saying he's in training with Sheffield. I thought he was out till October. I was told he's out till October, so I don't know.
So if he is out, the player that I would bring in would be I would bring in Michael Hector.
Okay.
Right? if Deshaun is not
Hector,
available.
Hector is a forgotten man, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
I was-
But you only need 4 center back now. You already have 4.
No. Remember, I have a 30-man squad, you know. So
Oh, yours is 30. Oh, you increased yours to 30.
That was
Okay.
30. Right. So this is what I would take as the World Cup squad for the 3 windows. I don't believe we can be chopping and changing. So
It depends if you're bringing in Premier League quality or not. Like, I don't know why we're not pursuing Kyle Walker-Peters. I don't understand.
I don't know. Where's he?
He's going to
He-
Turkey,
has he left
actually.
Southampton?
My understanding is he's going to go to Turkey. They were talking
No,
about
he-
him on
he
Talk
won't be.
Sports yesterday, I think, and they were saying he was on the cusp of the England team at one point. They don't understand why a Premier League team has picked him up. They were talking
don't
about him
understand.
playing a top 12 team. He was getting a lot of their comments, actually. He's a good
I
player.
don't
He's a very versatile player.
So I don't understand why one of the 3 teams who were promoted would not have just simply
Yeah.
thanked Kyle Peters. He's definitely the class player in Southampton for many years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Benderek and those guys. Benderek is a decent centre half for a low level team. I don't know why a West Ham, for example, wouldn't have tried to buy Kyle Walker-Peters.
Well, they have Wan-Bissaka now, so they may not. And they had a kid from where is he?
But he can play right and left.
Yeah, he's a very versatile player. He's a versatile player.
Very versatile. The right centre back, Damian Lowe, Joel Latibedair, and I have Richard King in my 30.
Okay.
In my 30. The CDM, Isaac Hayden, Brandon Copper, and I would go for that 19th position. I would go for recruitment for Kane Rodney from Crystal Palace. If we cannot get Kane Rodney around the squad, I would have Andrew Vanzi from the JPL. Not Mr. Molasses, Sule McCallum, but Andrew Vanzi, I believe, is a quality central midfielder. Or, if we don't have to go that far, I would like to know the status of Jordan Cousins and his Jamaican passport, because I think he's the forgotten man. Played many games in League One, the same league as Ron Russell.
What about the kid from Ajax? Under 21 kid.
I have not seen him play.
Okay. You should look him up and go look for highlights on YouTube.
I have not put eyes on him. As a matter of fact, if I were going to, and you will see, I have how I structured my thing. Centre mid, I have John Russell. I had Lewis Baker there. And Keroy Anderson.
Lewis Baker not coming, so Lewis Baker should be on your team.
Not coming.
Not
So
coming.
I would put a line through that. So that's where I would have 2 CMs. And if you wanted to pop the kid Gennaro there, I wouldn't think with you. Cam, Tyrese Hall, Ravel Morris, Bobby Reed. Right. Left wing, Ronaldo Cephas, Demarai Gray, and I have a question mark next to Tyrese Campbell.
Okay.
And that's the Tyrese Campbell from
the one from Charlton, yeah.
Charlton, right? Right wing, I have Mason Greenwood, Kaheem Dixon, and Leon Bailey hanging on by a thread.
I mean Leon Bailey. So you have Dixon over Bailey?
I have Dixon over Bailey in my side.
And you have Dixon over Tyrese too?
No, but the other wing.
Yeah, but some ringers are versatile and can play right or left. You have a pigeonhole them.
I have Dujon Richards, who I understand is coming back.
Oh, you have Dujon Richards in your team?
Whisper?
Yeah.
Yes. As I said, it's a team for September, October, November. It's a 30-man squad.
So Madison doesn't make it 30? Madison doesn't make it 30?
Here's the hard thing. At the time when we did this, I did not know what was the kerfuffle with Mothersill, right? But again, I said I have a space there in the center mid. I could use it to bring an extra winger if I wanted to, right? And a Mothersill could find himself in there, to be quite honest, where Louis Baker would have been, right? Center forward is where I'm going to shock the world. As a matter of fact, it's a 35-man squad, actually. My number one center forward is Cameron Archer.
You won't have.
Keen on
I don't think
Davis.
you're gonna have him for September.
No, but what I'm saying, remember I'm saying I'm
No, I understand.
selecting a
I understand.
35-man squad for the World Cup qualifiers. Some will be ready in September, some will be ready in October.
Okay.
Some might score goals in September and there for a man in October, him not relevant again because a man are banging goals.
All right.
Warner Brown, Shamar Nicholson, and Roman Burrell.
So I'm to Antonio.
I'm going to tell you the big casualties in my side are Mikel Antonio, Casey Palmer, and Greg Lee. Those are the big casualties in my
So
side.
I can see Greg Lee. I'm almost 100% sure Palmer's gonna be a casualty. I don't see Antonio being a casualty, even if you don't have a club.
No, I'm giving my side.
I understand.
He has not had a club. At the time of speed, he doesn't have a club, and I am absolutely clear. If you don't have a club, you can't be on my side.
Okay.
Right?
Someone is asking about Keenan Davis.
He has been spoken to from Hargreaves's time.
Okay.
Right? Possibly one of the ones that come to their senses is my understanding, and should have a fairly straightforward way in understand grandparents are alive.
Right.
Right? That's my understanding. Shamar Nicholson makes my thing in there. I'm not going anywhere without Boza.
Well, I think Boza started in his last game, right? For Tijuana. I think he started.
Well, the only thing I watch about Tier 1 is I'm watching a new series called The Gringo Hunters on Netflix. It's mad.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I have two developmental spots for 34 and 35. And one of them I'm giving to Malachi Welch, the CDM from the under 17. Was it under 17 or under 20?
Under 20.
He's from Millwall, right? And the other I'm giving to either Sachin Satchwell or the kid Fuller from Tivoli. Nicholas Fuller, I think his name is, from Tivoli, midfield.
Somebody's saying that Ravel doesn't have a club. I thought Ravel had a club. Did he leave with this?
Ravel has a club.
I know he's been in Jamaica. I know he's been in Jamaica.
Ravel had a club.
Yeah.
So
you know Ravel is not gonna make it, right?
No, I'm
just telling you, he's not making it.
So I am saying something to some people, right? We don't want to go back to the ugly days of Jamaica. You see, if Ravel Morris is not in the squad,
he's not in the squad,
and we come to Jamaica and Trinidad ekes out a draw, you always see bottles flinging at the stadium. Remember me tell you, people are not. Let me tell you, I am not a believer in Ravel. You understand? I'm not in the Ravel church. I'm not like you. However, as a man looking on the outside from the Anthony Grant Church, I would have loved to see a midfield of Isaac Hayden, Ravel, and Anthony Grant. I think that would have dealt with Jamaica's issues.
Which Anthony Grant? When? No?
Back when we had
okay.
You hear me mention Anthony Grant in my squad? I didn't. Although he's just signed for a club.
Somebody's asking about Trevante Stewart. Marlon asked about Trevante Stewart. Who's supposed to score a lot of goals in his club. Where is he? In Serbia?
So I don't have Trevante Stewart and I don't have Javon East. And I don't have
Romario Williams.
Ruben Fleming.
Romario Williams.
Romario Williams would be a casualty, an unfortunate casualty, because I think I really think he suffered by not scoring goals when he came in this last window.
But he didn't get no game to score no goal.
No.
He got game to score a goal?
No, he suffered by not scoring and he goes in this last window. And the people who are in and around him for that spot, they have scored.
But I'm saying he didn't get any game to score goals, did he?
Yes, that's it. I think he played a little. Did he come in the World? Did he come in the World Cup?
You mean the Gold Cup? I don't think he. The World Cup? No, he didn't play. He didn't play in Jamaica when they played Guatemala.
Did he play?
No.
Or the World Cup? One thing I don't know, but he's unfortunate. And I believe that there should be an express recruitment that these players I would expect for the October window or the November window. Because I believe if there's a change of government, I will be saved to Mark Golding. You need to
Wait.
and go to Everton and speak to Dwight.
Wait. Back up. There'll be a change of.
No, bad man, the backup.
Bad man, the backup. What? No, back up after the election. No, back up.
No, I reverse.
No, pack up. No, pack up.
Okay. Go ahead, sir.
No, pack up. I have been watching the direction from afar. I don't have a party. I don't have not JLP or PNP. I am agnostic as to who win the election. I don't really care. Yeah, but from what I heard it's dead heat. I heard it's dead heat, right? I was watching somebody telling me. I heard it's dead heat.
We have 3 points right
But
here.
here's the problem. Polling in Jamaica is unreliable. Like it is most places actually nowadays. Unreliable. The methodology for polling is unreliable. You know that. So I wouldn't use polling as a criteria to tell you if you're a dead heat or not. Polling is unreliable.
Hold on. So here's the problem I have with some people. When Mark Golding was 14 points behind in the poll, right? I did not trust the polling. I was one who said, go ahead and work. So you can't be lauding the pollsters when you are ahead.
I've never lauded the pollsters. No. Oh, okay.
The governing party.
Okay.
Right? When they lauded the pollsters when we were 18 points behind and Mark Golding at 13% favorability. I mean, it was a joke. Right? Mr. 13. Now he has done the work. I gotta tell you, hardest working party leader I have been around. Tell you that.
So wait, Kerr, can you get the opposition and you guys come on my channel and we talk politics? I would love to talk politics with you and somebody else who's a what do you call this? A campaign person for the opposition?
Sure.
Yeah, man. Get one and come on. Come talk. Come talk politics. Hey, people, I love hear that. Kerr come as the opposition and somebody from the ruling party, and I'm being the moderator. Come here. No. And then the people can have enough question. We have enough question. No question. No man, get one. We can't run that thing. I know that election close. Each party can make their case. They're good thing.
I tell you what I mean. I would message the party in the morning and say to him, there's a football channel that he can come and make and you can question him and quiz him and ask him.
Yeah, man. No, but I need somebody in the opposition. No one about this may take sides. You know, them people at Jamaica steer. So I have to have persons from each party to have the conversation. Can't just have one side. No one get beaten.
Them run. We'd have to talk about the school buses and all these things. But can I finish with my development?
Yes, go on.
I believe the following recruitment needs to happen with 5 players need to be pursued. Dwight McNeil, number 1, I'm putting in order of importance.
I would agree with that.
Job Bellingham.
No, Job family is not Jamaican. What do you mean? His family is not Jamaican. The Bellinghams are is it Guadeloupe? I don't think they're Jamaicans.
I'm going to go again and check because
not Jamaican. Keep going, not Jamaican. You know, guys want to adopt anybody that good, but keep going.
I will check again.
I don't think not Jamaican. Trust me. Go ahead.
That would move Aaron Ramsey up.
Aaron Ramsey, yes, I have him as.
Yes,
McNeil Ramsey, that's 1, 2, yes.
Jacob Ramsey, number 3.
No, it's Jacob then Aaron actually.
No, I have Aaron then Jacob.
You know, because you want it based on ability to get the person versus the ability.
No. I need a cam. I need a central attacking midfielder.
No. Jacob can play both. What are you talking about? Can play the 6, 7. He can play 8 and play 10.
Jacob is a box to box. Jacob is a box.
No. Jacob played left wing in a hybrid left wing for Villa and played the 8 He can't play no, man. He can't play anyway. No. He's a better player than his brother. Come on. You know better. But anyway, keep going. 2 Ramses.
Right. And Ben Godfrey.
Nah, it's all right.
I believe Ben Godfrey is a superior centre back to me.
He's better than Holgate, but he's not.
He's better than Deshaun Bernard.
And he can play right back too, but he's all right. Tell me like Kelly, and me talk.
Lloyd Kelly, I would like. But
Better option than Ben Godfrey. I heard he has some reconciliation of late, so things may be in a different place than they were before. Let's say that.
Not thinking out his business. Understand that the situation is not what it's similar, but not what we thought it was.
Okay.
Right. But I hope a lot of damage hasn't been done. So
Okay.
I'm no one who spoke to the player. I've never spoken to the player, never spoken to anybody who has spoken to the player. But I hope that there isn't any emotional trauma that would stand in his way of coming to represent Jamaica. But I believe if we pursue those 5 players, and I said the kid Caden Rodney, who's also a CDM at Crystal Palace, who's now coming onto the bench. I rated him as a better player, a better prospect than Kerr Anderson at the time. But I believe that's where my recruitment would stop. I think the 2 strikers, if they should be in and around. And I think this group it's come up to 35. 35 players would give the coach enough to select in case of cards, in case of injuries, in case of club versus country. No, I'm going to stick in Modestil in there because with due respect, he does have a passport, and
I don't think he has his passport. He has citizenship, right? He has to go pick up his passport, I guess.
So how did he play in the thing there game? You had to have a passport to play in the Unity Cup.
So them say.
Right.
So them say. You never know what's accurate from accurate. We're not going there. What you say? I thought the other side was in my citizenship and then passport, but I don't know. I could be wrong. What do I know? What do I know about anything?
What do we do?
So say to me, you say he didn't have to go back to England because. Anyway, keep going. We're not going back to history.
No, don't say it. Don't say it.
We're not going back to history. Go ahead.
Somebody said these players will have to wait until 28 to come to Jamaica, unfortunately.
No. What he's saying is that they will wait that long instead of coming now when they should come now, when they're younger. That's what he's saying.
No, but the truth of the matter is that we had a barrage of young players. We didn't get a run. Young player didn't rush me. Like we are at the end. And we go on like we hype.
No. We don't want the young players.
You know?
Yeah.
14.
Yeah, the 14.
When you put the 2 squads together, when you put the under 17 and the under 20, right? It could have been as much as 23 players.
Yeah, there's a lot of players.
There was 8 from one squad. There was 13 from one. And then you had some stragglers.
Yeah. It's a lot of players.
There's a lot of players.
And some of them will become very good players eventually, actually.
Right. That's the only thing that I was going to say, that we don't know we can't speak to the exact quality of what some would turn out to be in terms of senior players because they were very young.
Right. True.
We still have youngsters who have Jamaican passports whose careers haven't gone as we thought they would. Like Piker from Reading, who now playing non-league football with Anthony Jack. You have the centre back from Chelsea who played in the under 20, who I think is in Scotland now.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah. He was a good player, actually. He looks like a good player, actually.
You have he's left-footed. You have Delano Splat, who, if he's not injured, you'd want to know. I mean, they're kids around.
Yeah, but those kids were not born in Jamaica,
right? So nobody thinks about them, mentions them, tracks them, keep up with them. So I believe we have a core of players. And I said, I don't believe the right EPL players. So, for example, Andrew Vanzi hasn't really been I mean, for me, he has been one of the most consistent midfielders in the JPL over the last 4 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For me, I mean, even before Andrew, if we didn't say Andrew, I would have gone. Like, I don't understand how you send the plane ticket to Sule McCallum when you had Kevin Lambert, who was a part of a Gold Cup team 2 years ago that reached the semifinals in America, who could have just drive, come at the game. Why would you fly Sule McCallum? Especially since there was a chance you were not going to be able to use him because the game was so competitive.
Yeah.
You had Devon Speedy Williams, who's about McCallum's age, who's playing in a higher league and higher level. This is not about talent or ability to contribute to Jamaica. This is very sinister. It's very obscene. Shopping window business.
No, I don't think McCullough was being shopped. He's too old to get shopped, man. I'm about 30.
Yes, so then why would you fly a player up from Jamaica when you had two players of similar position sitting in the United States? Remember how long the JPL finished playing? And the coach was saying, boy, the JPL was finished in the end of May.
Yeah, look, I don't know what the rationale was, but maybe I think what happens is this, Kerr, right? And people may not admit this, but the players who are locally born, who are playing outside Jamaica, I'm not sure they're being followed as well as they should by the people who are making those decisions.
Because they don't have no money to get from them. They don't have no money to get.
Yeah.
There's no transfer fee.
Somebody's telling me that Billingham has Jamaican roots. When I checked, because I was checking, it didn't say Jamaican. It said something else.
So there's a funny thing about this thing. Some people have 2 and 3 places that they can represent. Right?
Yeah.
And particularly when you have the small islanders, they mix a lot with the Jamaican, right?
Yeah, but I didn't. I was told that he had Jamaican heritage. When I did some research, I didn't see Jamaican heritage in the background, but I'm not gonna say I'm 100% correct.
So what I know, there is some Republic of Ireland
and some Caribbean, but not Jamaican. That's my understanding.
I don't know. But I don't know. So if he can, he can. If he can't, he can't.
Because somebody came to my channel the other day running me down about something. Who was it? I'm gonna try to remember. And they were so wrong. Oh, this is what it was. Somebody came on the channel and said that John Barnes played high school football for JC, and he was therefore coached in Jamaica before he matriculated to England, so therefore they should get credit. I read John Barnes' story. I forgot who wrote it. My understanding, he left Jamaica at 12. His father was Trinidadian, mother Jamaican, mother a personality, a media personality. His father in the military. I'm saying he got England when we had conflict at Jamaica. So how did he go to England playing Jamaica for JC? And he set up a course football, which was what he called then. Sometimes we get our facts all lined the wrong way.
So let me go. So Jude Bellingham does have Jamaican heritage.
Where is it at?
And through his mother, his name is Denise Bellingham.
Is dad Caucasian?
His dad is, that's where the Irish comes from.
I have to go.
That's where the Irish
when I look up the last time, that's why I can't trust him. I look at the last time, he didn't say nothing about no Jamaican. His dad is Caucasian, his mom is West Indian heritage. I didn't see no Jamaican in there. I forgot where I read it actually, but I'm gonna go back and review.
Yes, right. And I'm going to go. So the parents are not married, right? The father's thing is Irish, and the grandparents is Irish. Right?
So where's the Jamaican in there? Tell me the Jamaican in there.
The mother. The mother.
The mother's Jamaican?
Yeah.
I have to go back and research because I was told he's Jamaican. I looked up, he wasn't. I got to go back to my source actually.
Part of the policeman.
Interesting. Doesn't matter anyway. They're talking about Jew for England. I heard, I was on Talk Sports today and they were talking about him doing well at Dortmund in his first game. And that, because he played in the Club World Cup, but got 2 yellow cards, so he didn't play against his brother. And that if he plays well, he could be in consideration. So who knows? But I didn't see where it is. I gotta go look it up again. Forgot where I saw it. Regular Boys Records said John Barnes show up with everything. But what age did he go to England? Because I actually kept the life story document that I had. It says 12. So tell me what age he went to England. Because he was the one said when he was flying and he saw football field was cold, he was so glad because Jamaica didn't have the infrastructure and he didn't play any formalized ball in Jamaica. It wasn't formal. So the person just texted me, Wayne texted me and said it's through his mom, like you're saying, cataract. That's not what I saw. I know people like Theo Walcott were Jamaican heritage and Kyle Walker, but I haven't seen anything for.
So I can tell you about Theo. It's graceful. It's graceful. I worked the one time that I had a 9-to-5 job. Theo's aunt was the HR manager. And I have seen letters of the player begging to play for Jamaica.
Who was begging?
You're welcome.
But Theo Walker stopped playing for England when he was 16. When am I beg?
Youth players, man, it's the same like what you call my boy this up. The same like Ben Godfrey. Ben Godfrey was begging Jamaica when he was 15. Let me not say beg, asking. I mean, use a strong word like beg, asking. And it's on. They remain a distant friend, former co-worker. He lives in Dubai now, something like that. But they're there.
I can't find June Manos thing. I'm looking for it. I can't find it. Okay. Well, Cataract, no, sign off now. Me say 10 minutes and you talk for 40 minutes.
Like the thing, it's past the bedtime.
Yeah, it's past the bedtime. But wait, before you go, you do that thing with me, right? Bring on the opposition and yourself, or whoever you want to bring, and we have a conversation.
You'd have to throw it out.
Huh?
You'd have to throw it out.
I'm throwing it out. If you're from the JLP and Cataract or is part of the leaders from the PMP, I would love to have on my channel to talk Jamaican politics. Love to have the conversation. It'd be a wonderful thing. Especially given now is election time where
we have a show, any show man in
no, we want somebody who's known in the environment, not just anybody. Not just anybody. We don't want somebody kind of JP supporter and want to come debate. You are very a person who's versed in Jamaican politics. We're not looking for that. We're looking for fair, equitable situation. That's what we're looking for.
You're an equitable. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily equitable. One where the person is versed in the politics as you are, so they can have an informed discussion about Jamaica politics, what their party bring to the table versus what the opposition did. They both bring their records about how well they have done over the years, and why they should be the elected party to go forward and run the country. And it's very hard for the opposition to demonstrate it. At least the incumbent has the history behind them to show or not show. And the opposition, very hard for them to substantiate and justify why they should assume the realm or the power for the country when in 12 years we haven't really seen them. We only hear from them.
And no, I don't think that would be fair in the last second wrapping up. I think that it's always difficult for an opposition to
Yep.
challenge an incumbent, especially in fairly stable times, right?
And
But
especially when the country seems to be at this infrastructure-wise going in the right direction and some other areas, right? Yeah, it's tough.
but you can't. Well, fortunately for us, the JLP keeps giving us some softballs because they keep trying to just keep money. Like with this rural bus thing that they're the 110 buses. When listen, what I would say to the Jamaican public, we live in the era of information. So don't only use your data to go on TikTok.
But no,
Just
we can't do this, get a record. Then you preach for one side. We can't do this, come on, you're better than that, man.
even with what TNT says.
No.
Listen,
But
I am not
but you're talking about we can't have the conversation until somebody can defend himself. Then can't defend himself. Come on, man. He can't defend himself. But then come on, can defend himself. I understand what you're saying. Timing is everything in life, and when you're known certain things at a certain point in time, it can be challenged. So we want people. If you know somebody who's there, well respected in the political arena, you know what? I'll text somebody and ask them if you can get me somebody and then come debate you or debate. Who you bring, yourself or somebody else? I would love to have the conversation. This is fun.
I'm happy to debate. And if you're around with me, we'll bring Damian Crawford.
No, bring somebody. Because some people are theoretical enough. They're not practical. If I've been part of for 12 years, you're theoretical and you're not practical. Can I not be sure of you?
But as long as part of the debate is about sport, right? Because
No. We ain't doing no sports. No sport. The only sports we may do is about naturalization. The only thing we may do is about naturalization. That's it.
No, the stadium.
Oh, that's true.
What happened with football and
you know what? It's a fair point. It's a fair point. But forget about COVID. What happened in football? Period, and how the government is involved in it.
When we were only allowed to have 200 fans in the stadium, yet at Caymanas Park they were ram-packed every racing day. Come on.
No, okay, you know what? The sports thing has some. I gotta revisit that sports thing because there are a number of things that just jump out as you mention it. I didn't want to do a sports thing. I want to do more serious social issues. But sports is an intricate part of Jamaica lifestyle. So what I track and feel, it's not even like specific sports per se. It is direction of travel. So you know what? Let me text somebody and see if they can find somebody. Or you find somebody and bring them on and we have the conversation.
I'm surprised. Like, I'm the labor right for anybody. I'm expecting nothing at them time. Nothing them time.
All right. We'll talk.
You're going to ask me to find a Trini friend come September. I'm a Trini friend.
Okay.
Right now, Andrew can't text my phone till after November. Till after Jamaica broke up him like an idiot, right?
Yeah, you go and talk. We see what happened with Chelsea and PSG now. Everybody said PSG can't win. Chelsea can't win. They're not chance in hell. And what happened? The ball is round.
Everybody's embarrassed. I mean, I was surprised that people like Craig Burley and some other guys, they didn't have the decency. they didn't try to belittle the achievement.
Yeah.
Where Chelsea finished in the league. That's not where they finished. They whooped their ass.
Yep.
Right? For the 45 minutes. And yes, if you're putting all of that into pressing,
I said this last about Cataract. The one thing it showed in that game is that coaching matters.
Yes. That those little dink balls over the top.
Yeah, no, the fact that you played almost like a back three, you have Gusto on the outside, you squeeze Palmer inside, all those things that you do will give you the best chance to win and show that you're thinking the football is important. Yeah. So anyway, Cataract, later. Yeah, man. We'll talk. Thanks.
Big up himself. Yeah, man.
All right, everybody. Good conversation with Cataract later on in the program. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you being here. People, do me a favor, man. Hit the like button, subscribe, and also subscribe to the Balance View channel. I'll drop in the chat. I want to get Balance View to a point where I don't have to conflate or combine the Kranky Live with the Balance View, which is more social versus sports. I want to keep this to be pure sports, but right now, I'm not getting the support from Balance View, even though Drew Ross give me a hard time and says I'm not doing enough program on there, which I will do. But I do want to get up to, I have to get up to 1,000 subscribers to do more Balanced View program. Right now I'm only at 3 something. So if you can go over there and subscribe, I'd appreciate it. Thanks for being here. We'll try to do a few more shows this week. I am planning to do a series on the Epstein saga because it's really interesting. I'm not sure I'm going to do live or do videos, but it's a really interesting journey, or I don't think a journey, situation. And it does show you that power lies through the barrel of money. You want to call it money, or through the pocketbook. Power runs through the pocketbook, because that's a very damning situation. It's nasty, it's horrible, it's terrible. And yet only one person, only 2 persons actually got penalized in a situation where a lot of people should have gone to jail. A lot. So anyway, people, have a good night. Appreciate you, and peace out. Kranky Life is the best to be now. For the best sports talk, and it's free, yo. Kranky Life will be your guiding light by keeping you informed both day and night. Kranky Life, tell them. Kranky Life, heed them. Kranky Life, want them. Kranky Life. From the courts to the field, we'll never lose, because Kranky has the hottest news. With expert analysis, we break it down. Our in-depth coverage is best in town. Kranky Life, tell them. Kranky Life, heed them. Kranky Life, want them. Kranky Life. Kranky Life, where the sports is spicy and where we keep the discussion lively. Kranky Life, get to know the name, because Kranky analysis is never lame. Kranky Life, give me my Kranky Life. I want my Kranky Life. Must have my Kranky Life. Whether it's football or track and field, you know Kranky is at the wheel. So join the journey through victory and defeat, and subscribe and don't miss a beat of Kranky Life. Tell them, Kranky Life. Heed them, Kranky Life. Want them, Kranky Life. If you're from England or USA, from Kingston or Bombay, from Kenya or Canada, Lagos or Havana, visit Kranky Live. Tune into Kranky Live. Like up Kranky Live. Subscribe to Kranky Live. Kranky Live coming to you on weekdays. Kranky Live sometimes on Sundays. Pull up a chair and take a seat, because Kranky will always bring the heat. Kranky Live. Me say fi tell them Kranky Life. Me say fi heed them Kranky Life. On them Kranky Life. Kranky Life will be around. Kranky Life is the best in town. Me say fi heed them. Me say fi want them. Me say fi heed them. Want them, heed them, want them. Kranky Life. Kranky Life. Heed them. Want them. Heed them. Want them. Kranky Life. Kranky Life. Heed them. Want them. Heed them. Want them. Heed them. Want them. Kranky Life. Kranky Life. Kranky. Heed them. Want them. Heed them. Want them. Heed. Want. Heed. Want. Heed them.